Yes, say it with me now. Good morning.
Morning. He's just asking me, are we post-Valentine's Day? I'm like, we have 2
Am I
days.
suffering from Valentine's Day blues?
You have a blank in your week.
I literally do. I can't remember that. It was the 15th yesterday, but we are here today.
It is Thursday.
It's a Thursday, the
Yeah,
16th, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to our Feel Good Breakfast Show. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show, of course. For the next 3 hours, we're going to try and inject some energy, some fun, laughter, love, and certainly a lot of smiles into your day.
Definitely. And today we are going to put the spotlight on gaming and movies.
That's
our
fun.
favorites. I know. Now, from exploring the highest rated Marvel games of all time to getting a sneak peek of the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Quantumania one that is releasing in theaters tomorrow. Of course, we know JP Sebastian will be bringing his A game and knowledge, all of that knowledge.
Were you much of a gamer as a child?
I used to play Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's good.
And Mario Brothers.
Oh, no, you're a
and
gamer
the
for
car,
sure.
Need for Speed. That was my
Oh,
kind
no,
of gaming.
you were proper in there. Nicely done. All right. Then entertaining us this morning is multi-talented singer, dancer, and actress best known as Susie from her role in the popular South African soapie Said Ooster. I'm talking about Natasha van Merwe. So that's going to be something to certainly look forward to. She's absolutely ready. We are ready. I hope that you're ready. I wonder if Ryle De Mornay is ready. Good morning, man.
Yes, at the helm, standing by, ready to serve thee. Good morning, Mzansi. Welcome to, of course, another energy-packed and full fun session that we're going to have for the next 3 hours. Of course, we're chatting to you this morning, finding out from you on social media, if you and how do you process and deal with difficult emotions? Do you share it with others? Do you meditate or do you cry? Now, we all deal and have a coping mechanism. We want to find out what yours is, and maybe you have some tips for us to deal with our emotions. For me, I often use nature as my escape. I go into the ocean or the mountain, I reflect, and I kind of use it as my form of meditation. So what's your reason and what's your way to deal and cope? Come through now, use that number 408-8863, and we'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to use the hashtag Expresso Show and bring in those comments. For now, though, it's time to kick off official duties, and Zoe is standing by with the latest.
Thank you, Ral. Let's kick off with national headlines. The World Health Organization has expressed concern about an outbreak of measles in more than 20 countries, including South Africa. The SA Department of Health is collaborating with the organization in a nationwide vaccination campaign to limit the spread of the disease. The Western Cape Department of Health has urged parents and guardians of children between the ages of 6 months and 15 years to ensure their children receive booster doses against measles. Dr. Dopamine, a measles consultant at WHO, says the disease is very serious. And staying with our local news, the relentless weather conditions over the interior are expected to return to normal next week. A tropical low-pressure system has caused severe flooding in the Free State, Gauteng, Mpumalanga and Limpopo. The SA Weather Service says the rainy weather will clear from Sunday. Meanwhile, SANParks has denied claims that people have died due to flooding in the Kruger National Park. SANParks spokesperson Ika Pahla says everyone is safe. The camp at Crocodile Bridge is still closed, and the Olifants and Letaba rivers are flowing strongly. SANParks constantly monitor river levels. Moving to news abroad, at least 73 migrants are missing and presumed dead after their boat sank off the Libyan coast. Only 7 people survived Thursday's shipwreck, but are in extreme dire condition in hospital. So far, 11 bodies have been recovered by the Libyan Red Crescent and police. The boat was heading to Europe on a route known as the world's deadliest migratory sea crossing. Now, more than 130 people have already succumbed this year while attempting the dangerous crossing of the Mediterranean Sea. And a Russian journalist has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for a post on social media concerning a deadly attack by Russian fighter jets on a theater in Ukraine. A court in Siberia found Maria Ponomarenko guilty of spreading fake news. She reported that Russian planes did carry out the attack on the theater, although the Russian Defense Ministry denied this. More than 1,000 civilians were sheltering there when the airstrike took place. An international news agency found that the death toll was close to 600. And growing up in Mogotio, Kenya, 29-year-old Nelly Shaboy attended school barefoot and most nights went to bed hungry. But she dared to dream and had a burning desire to change the lives of those around her. She took her education very seriously and consequently earned a full college scholarship at Augustana College in Illinois in the US. There she was introduced to the power of technology, and Shaboy went from not knowing how to type on a computer to becoming a software engineer and founder in 2018 of TechLit Africa, short for Technologically Literate Africa. TechLit Africa is a non-profit organization that provides students in rural Kenya with access to technology and the ability to learn fundamental digital skills. Donated computers are transported to Kenya, then refurbished locally. TechLit Africa provides the computers and curriculum to schools, and the school provide the space where students study. Now, a Forbes Under 30 top entrepreneur and CNN hero of 2022, Nelly is living her childhood dream of helping kids unlock global opportunities. Well, on that very positive note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take a first look at your sport.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Of course, it's time to take a look at the latest when it comes to sporting action. And starting off with soccer news, Manchester City returned to the top of the Premier League. And this for the first time since November as they leapfrogged leaders Arsenal with a vital 3-1 victory. Now, Takehiro Tomiyasu's poor back pass allowed Kevin De Bruyne to loft a finish over Aaron Ramsdale. Now, after 24 minutes, this all went down. And then Arsenal drew level 3 minutes before halftime with Bukayo Saka scoring from the penalty spot. Now, Gabriel lost possession to allow Bernardo Silva and Erling Haaland to set up Jack Grealish for a deflected finish after 72 minutes. And all this before Haaland got his name on the score sheet for the 26th time in the league this season. Well, exciting stuff indeed. And sticking to soccer action right now and moving to the Champions League, where Karim Adeyemi scored a brilliant solo goal to condemn Chelsea to defeat in their Champions League last 16 first leg tie at Borussia Dortmund. Now, Chelsea, to their credit, pushed for an equalizer, and Emre Can swept the ball right off the goal line as Kalidou Koulibaly's deflected strike looked certain to trickle into the back of the net. Now, defeat leaves Graham Potter's side with the task of overturning the tie when the two sides meet at Stamford Bridge on the 7th of March. Now, elsewhere in Champions League action, goals from João Mario and David Neres scored a 2-0 win for Benfica over Club Brugge. Well, from all our footballing action, we head over to the pitch, and that's for cricket. Now, opening batter Muniba Ali became the first ever woman to score 100 for Pakistan in the T20 internationals when she smashed 102 to set up a 70-run win over Ireland in the T20 World Cup. Now, the left-hander spurred Pakistan to a total of 165 for 5 wickets after they were sent into bat. Now, Ireland were bowled out for 95 runs, with Nashra Sandhu claiming career best figures of 4 for 18. Now, the other match, which saw India overcome the West Indies by 7 wickets, where Dipti Sharma took 3 for 15, while Risha Ghosh hit 44 runs not out to guide her side over the line. Well, finally, in our sporting action this morning, moving over to Formula One racing action and news, Lewis Hamilton has begun talks over a new contract with Mercedes. Now, the Formula One team confirmed this on Wednesday. And the 7-time world champion said during the launch of the team's new car for the 2023 season at Silverstone that he is, and quote, planning to stay a bit longer. Now, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff added later discussions over an extension to Hamilton's £40 million a season deal, which expires at the end of the year, which has begun. Well, that's all the latest when it comes to sporting action. For now, though, it's time to take a look at the weather and what's happening in and around the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Demone. Let's take a look at things weather-wise, keeping it right here in South Africa, where the SA Weather Services says that the disruptive rain that has caused much damage over Limpopo, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape in the past week will continue today. Persistent thundershowers have wreaked havoc across the country, with 14 lives lost, homes submerged and vehicles swept away, and agriculture affected by floodwaters. Now, weather experts attribute this to the La Nina weather phenomenon. The Weather Service has meanwhile issued an orange level 5 warning for continued rain over the Wild Coast, the adjacent interior of the Eastern Cape, parts of KwaZulu-Natal, Northwest, and the Free State. A yellow level 2 warning applies to parts of Gauteng and the southern Highveld and Lowveld, and escarpment of Mpumalanga and Limpopo. Extremely high fire danger conditions are expected over the central parts of the Northern Cape, and uncomfortable and hot, humid conditions will prevail over the Cederberg, Bergrivier municipalities in the Western Cape. And now it's time for us to take a look at those beautiful sunrise pictures that you send us every morning. We do enjoy those very much. First up, thank you very much to Jonathan Snelling, who captured a tangerine sky before he heads out for a run this morning. Cordell Hammond in Centurion enjoying the fresh air snapped this lovely view. Then Shane McCluckey from Nigal snapped this holiday kind of feel from plants and trees to the bright skies. We certainly do enjoy that. And then last up, we had Ashwell from Annandale, who shared this gorgeous view of the pink sky overlooking the homes in Annandale. Thank you so much for that. Please continue to send them through to us, whether in picture format or video, to 063 408 8863. A quick look at temperatures all around the country. Much rain expected, high percentage chances all around. Polokwane, your low of 18 rises to a high of 27. Mbombela, 20 to 29. Pretoria, 18 to 28. And Johannesburg, a low of 17, rising to a high of 25. Out in the northwest, an 80% chance of rain in that part of the country, with a low of 17 rising to a high of 25. Klerksdorp, 18 to 25. Kimberley, 18 to 28, and Bloemfontein, 15 to 23, with an 80% chance of rain. More rain could possibly be expected in Richards Bay today, with a low of 23 rising to a high of 28. Pietermaritzburg, 19 to 24. Durban, a low of 23 and a high of 27. And Mthatha, 18 to 27, also with an 87% chance of rain. In East London, your low of 21 will see a high of 23. Cradock, 17 to 25. Gqeberha, 20 to 24, and George, a low of 17 and a high of 23. In the mother city, windy conditions all throughout the day with a low chance of rain, but a low of 18 rising to a high of 23. Worcester, 17 to 25. Sutherland, 13 to 25, and Uppington, 21, with a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius for your Thursday morning. It's going to be a scorcher, pretty hot one all around, but here's to hoping that you enjoy the feel-good vibes right here.
Oh, definitely. Well, we've got lots coming up, including, have you ever been a victim of emotional dumping? Well, we've got our panel standing by, and we will be unpacking exactly what that means. And you need a little bit of fitness, so how about we get you ready for your fitness ahead with Coleman Valentino. Raul de Mornay is going to be put through his paces. I believe a big dumbbell is going to be involved, so stay tuned for that.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Thursday morning. Delighted to be in your company. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, here's a question for you. Do you feel that maybe a friend of yours or a partner or a colleague vents all the time without taking your feelings into consideration, perhaps? Well, if that's the case, you may be a victim of what's called emotional dumping. And this is an incredibly common, often addictive pattern of reliving a past emotional experience in the present. And those who find themselves on the receiving end of emotional dumping can find it excessively draining and frustrating. So today, we chat about emotional dumping with life coach and journey practitioner Ellie Lawrence, as well as registered counselor Courtney Potto. Great to have you both here with us. And
thank you.
Thanks for rising at the crack of dawn to be here. Of course, we'd love to hear about your thoughts and experiences as well at home, so please do feel free to drop us a voice note on 063-408-8863. Ellie, let me start off with you just by sketching the difference, right? Because I think there is room and space to share your feelings and your experiences with your family and with your friends. But there is a time when that kind of crosses over into what we're talking about, emotional dumping. What is the difference between that?
The difference is that we all vent at some stage or other, and that's a healthy form of expressing your feelings. And a venting is also a person that would consider the time span of the discussion. They're not victims of their problems. They are just venting an issue that they feel very strongly about emotionally. So they are also open for solutions, and normally their partner, whoever they're talking to, they will listen to their perspective as well and come to some conclusion. Whereas you find on the other side, a person that dumps their emotion, an emotional dumper, is more of a person that does not consider time or space. You need to be available for them at their request. They need to open up and express their feelings. They are always a victim and blame somebody else for their problems. So they're not open to listen to constructive solutions.
Right.
They have their own idea and they are a bit closed to any other solutions.
Yeah. And Courtney, I guess in your line of work, in that classic movie image of, you know, a client lying on the couch and you just sitting there making notes, you've had your fair share of venting and sharing, and also, I'm sure, emotional dumping as well. What have you found to be the triggering conditions for that kind of overflow and relentless charge of emotions?
I think there's a few factors, but some of the things is, you know, someone who's experienced a lot of trauma or negative life experiences, you often have a build-up of all of these frustrations and anger, and you simply just want to offload them because you just want to get rid of them. Someone who maybe doesn't feel safe or stable in their relationships, so maybe they want to offload onto someone that they don't really know because their relationships are at stake, you know. And then someone who's maybe struggling with any sort of substance abuse, you know, alcohol, drugs. They don't know how to process their emotions in a healthy way. And so the only solution for them is to just offload in this unhealthy manner.
Yeah. And I guess a first part of what we're trying to work towards, which is a solution for both the person who is emotionally dumping and the other person who's on the receiving end, is in trying to understand those kind of things and the triggering events or the triggering conditions. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about what you can do then to, I guess, provide a safer space and to help that person through their emotional trauma that they might now, unfortunately, be dumping onto you, especially if you're feeling quite exasperated as a result of that. But of course, do send us a voice note about your experiences. We'd love to learn from you as well. 063-408-8863.
And speaking of emotions, here's a great way to dump your emotions, such as frustration and anger, into something like a workout. And you can do that right now in this next workout. And we're doing it with kettlebells, and they become a staple training tool for the entire fitness industry. I'm talking about CrossFitters to pro athletes to traditional weightlifters. Everybody's using them, and everyone can benefit from them. And one of the most significant advantages of using kettlebells is power endurance. Now, power endurance involves moves that are performed quickly, such as a snatch or maybe a clean and jerk. And these exercises force you to perform moves that are quick and activate muscular contractions rapidly, and this gives you more power and bigger calorie burns on top of that. So it's ticking so many boxes, so much bang for your buck, and here to take us through some of these exceptional exercises is fitness coach and ultramarathon athlete, Coleman Valentino!
Can I have that?
Gonna have that every morning when I
Yes,
wake up.
man, I'm your hype man, but I'm so excited because we're working with such an incredible tool. What do you got for us? I love kettlebells.
I've got 3 exercises for us today. So we've got upper body,
Nice.
we've got core, and then we've got legs. Nice and simple. We can get
Okay.
right into it.
Okay.
So the first one, you're gonna keep it, hold it just like this here. We've got an 8K here.
Okay.
How much do you normally go with?
It all depends on the movement and the time. I mean, that's the beauty of kettlebells actually as well.
True. So we're gonna go up and around the head. We're gonna use shoulders here. We're gonna use upper body. And then we're gonna drop it down towards the hips. We're gonna let go of the grip slightly. And then we're gonna pull a V up here. Elbows nice and high, hands low. There we go. Go down.
nice.
Change the grip. And then change the moment, change the direction of the twist there. Drop it down. And lift it up. So this is nice upper body. This gets into the top deltoid.
Shoulders are burning
And
right
up
now.
we go.
Almost feel the core coming into play on these.
Yeah,
little
it's a lot of
halos, especially.
stability. The kettlebells are really good for adding stability to any kind of easy exercise.
Oh, yeah, for
then
sure.
nice V up.
And just trying to stop myself from
Tricep.
swaying over is forcing the core to really get stimulated on this one.
forcing and pushing the hips
Absolutely love
slightly
it.
forward. And then we get on to the next one.
Right,
the
what's
next one
next?
is going to be a plank. So you're going to plank over your kettlebell here, hands on the ground.
Okay.
So you can do this knees down as well if you want to digress here. So we're just gonna put the kettlebell on the left-hand side there. We're gonna pick it up, drag it over towards the right. Grab it with the left hand, pick it up, over towards the left. There we go. Keep on changing. So the aim here is not to move the hips too much. Core nice and strong, not to move the shoulders too much. Stay as stable as possible there, not too much movement.
Ooh, feeling
There
the
we go.
core
Legs.
activating right now.
Yes.
I love the fact that we're also in a high plank, so stacking the shoulders.
Yeah.
The delts are getting that extra burn on top of it. But man, trying to stop your hips from swaying is a lot easier said than done.
True.
Ooh,
And
but
you want to
loving
stack
it.
those shoulders over your hands. Most people plank like your hands in front of the shoulders. Nice and safe. Shoulders over the hands for that one.
Right.
Let's get into the legs. Let's get into the third one.
Loving the burn.
So we're gonna squat. So proper squat form. Show me proper
Squat form, all right?
Beautiful. Oh,
Nice
look
and
at
up.
that deep squat. Hips back.
Oh,
You're
nice
gonna
little bit of rest,
push
okay.
your way into your heels there for me. You don't want the knees to go forward too much.
Yeah.
You want rather the hips to fall back, chest forward. Drop it down. And we're gonna take it around the left leg. Grab it at the back, right leg. Chest lifted there for me. Lift your gaze and we keep going. There we go. Beautiful. This is a nice leg burner. It's a nice
yeah,
glute
man.
burner as well.
Quads, the glutes are absolutely
Beautiful.
burning. This is pretty much a full body workout. Let's say we
Yes.
put all these exercises together. How many reps or how long should we go for on each move?
I like to add time to it, so I would do each exercise for like 40 seconds and then
Okay.
rest for 20 seconds.
Whew, and I gotta tell you, man, the legs and quads are burning on this
Done,
one.
done, done.
That was so much fun. Carmen, thank you again for coming through and working with such an exceptional tool. Kettlebells, ladies and gentlemen, get involved, get going on your workout because these can absolutely burn cows and get those stabilizers activated. And you want more tips or more help? Kalman's your man. He's got all the knowledge that you need to get your fitness journey jacked up to another level. I hope you enjoyed it. Nice stuff, bro. Boom.
You can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
A very good morning to you. Thanks again for joining us on this Thursday morning. And we're back with our panel discussing the topic of emotional dumping and the negative effects thereof. And so to that, life coach and journey practitioner Ellie Lawrence, as well as registered counsellor Courtney Potto, are here to discuss that topic with us. And of course, we'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Send us your voice notes on 063 408 8863. Before we enter into the next round of our discussion, we do have some comments that came through on social media regarding this. Crystal said this: "Good morning, Expresso team. A very soft heart. I cry until I feel okay." We're talking about coping mechanisms, excuse me. And she says that I pray and I find a solution to whatever I'm confronted with, and I listen to nice and uplifting music, and I do sing or dance. We do have another comment coming through. This one from Rishi: "I just hit the gym." Simple as that. So maybe for anyone who might identify as an emotional dumper, there's one for you as well. Quick solution. Tandiwe says, "Good morning, fam. I cry until I feel a little bit better. Then I take a nap. Rest is very important." Spelele says, crying is best now. And then sharing with others makes you, sharing with others makes you a laughing stock, and sometimes you may make a mistake of telling the wrong person. And that's also something to consider, isn't it?
Yes.
Courtney, I think a lot of people who are maybe emotional dumpers might feel that, ventilating these emotions continuously might help them feel better. But is there a chance and a danger that it could actually aggravate whatever feelings you already hold, those negative feelings? And if so, how do you go about lessening or stopping this behavior then?
Definitely it can aggravate these feelings, because if you think about it, when you are frustrated and venting, you can often heighten these emotions because you get stuck in explaining things from one perspective, which is your own perspective. And often people who are, offloading in this unhealthy way, they fail to see things from a bigger perspective. And so it keeps you in this unhealthy or angry state. And then also as well, when you are offloading in this unhealthy manner, it might make your close circle want to distance themselves from you because of the emotional baggage you're putting onto them. And so that can also heighten your own emotions of anger and frustration because your, support system is almost diminishing.
Yes.
And then in terms of lessening this behavior, if you do find yourself emotionally dumping, then you can always use coping mechanisms like a journal. That's always a really great way to offload some of your emotions in a healthy space, which is not at the expense of another person. And then keeping a healthy lifestyle, exercise, eating well, just making sure that your lifestyle is good to, keep your mental state on a good level. And then also just, understanding that your actions have an impact on other people. And so when you do want to vent to someone else, asking them, do you have the capacity? Are you willing to listen to me right now? And then if they say yes, then you can go on and, talk about your problems to them.
Absolutely. All right, so Ellie, what are some of the signs that whatever kind of emotional venting you're getting from a friend or a partner or a colleague is really deflating you as a person? You need to really be careful about what it is that you are on the receiving end of.
So often when you are a partner or a friend of someone that's venting, you'll feel totally drained from all their emotions that they're pouring out on you. It's like a kettle that's steaming because they're just venting all this that they're feeling. And you actually also feel a little bit helpless because you haven't got the answers for them. You can't change their situation. So you feel also in a negative space because you don't know how to correct it or fix it for them. So those are the difficulties that you experience. And also it's very draining. You leave the conversation or that space exhausted and you think, please, gosh, not again.
Yeah.
But you know the person and you probably find that they will repeat it. And that also dampens the relationship. It's negative for the relationship, whether you're in a relationship or just a friendship.
But then ultimately, we also want to be there for our people
Absolutely,
and for our circle as well. So how do we do that in a healthy manner, just very succinctly, hold space and honor that emotional state that they might be in?
So just recognize that your actions have an impact on other people. And also, when it comes to emotional dumping, explaining to the person the gravity of the situation that you're going to explain so that it gives them an idea of what's coming and it doesn't
Right.
take them by surprise. And then also just in the general sense, if someone else is wanting your support for something, you can ask them, do you want me to just listen and give you empathy, or do you want solutions to your problems? Do you want some advice? And then it shows the person that you really hear them and validate their feelings.
Absolutely. Ladies, thank you so much for rising early to join us. A really valuable conversation, which I hope has inspired you at home to continue having those healthy conversations with those close to you so that we can all just kind of hold hands together and walk this life journey in a healthy way.
Well, speaking of healthy, we're in the kitchen and we thought, why not make this delicious spicy stew, which is perfect. It is a budget buster, weekday meal, and I promise you it's a crowd pleaser. It's really easy, and it is an easy favorite that uses staple cupboard ingredients. You can whip up a batch of this comfort food, bursting with Mexican flavors that will surely have all the bellies filled. Now, we have private chef Tyron back with us this morning to show us exactly how it's done. Mexican food. Chef Tyron, you're speaking my language.
Right, morning, Zoe. How are we doing?
Good morning, very well. We're going to kick off with making the chili.
Yes, yeah. So I've just got some olive oil into a really hot pan. I want this really, really nice and firing. And then we're going to go in with our onions and garlic. We're going to add a pinch of salt to help sweat that down. And then we're going to start building up our chili bowl here. It's a really lovely bowl because it's got everything that you need sort of cooked right into it. We've got the quinoa, we've got the beans, the tomatoes and all of that going in.
And are we adding the quinoa to
We're
the
going to
chili
cook
mix?
the quinoa into the chili mix itself. So we're cooking a lovely superfood straight into our base, which is really, really awesome.
And I think a lot of people are
Pinch of
scared of
salt.
adding quinoa to the meal. I'm one of them. I feel like the quinoa needs to be cooked beforehand.
Yeah, it's more of a side dish than it is, you know, cooked into the braise or the stew. But it's a great way to sort of get everything into one pot, save on dishes, which I'm a big fan of.
Also upping the nutrient value.
Exactly that, exactly that. Cool, so I've got some onions, garlic sweating down here very lightly. We can whack this heat up a little bit. Then I'm probably going to go next with the peppers. So a bit of peppers.
And of course, this is TV cooking. I take it when you do this with no cameras around, you do take your time.
Yes, yeah, exactly that. Take it nice and slow. This is a dish that the longer you cook it, the better it'll be. And you just want to really develop these flavors right down. So nice caramelization on everything. We will kind of hurry it up for the telly, but yeah, I would cook this right down to a beautiful dark glaze and a nice paste. We're going to go in with our cumin now. Add it in nice and early so we can get a nice roasty toasty on that.
And it's good to cook through the spices. I know
Exactly.
I've had some meals before where you can
get
taste
raw
this.
spices.
It's still got that powdery taste to it and none of the flavor.
Exactly, and you want to extract the flavor from these spices into the oil. Oil and alcohol and those sort of things help draw out flavor, the sort of flavor nodes. So we're just going to go in here now. Okay, so it's nice and fragrant. You can smell it. The cumin's
we are
toasting
getting those
off.
fragrances coming
Careful
through.
not to burn our cumin. Okay, then I am going to go in with the quinoa next.
See, this is different. This is something I want to try with my next batch of, not even just mince, but I actually want to try this chili recipe. I've never seen it being done this way before.
Yeah, it's just a bit of something different. It's all something we know how to do, but I think to change it up a bit and, like I said, to keep it in one pot just makes life easy for everybody. Cool.
It's just all that flavors there. You're just building on top of it.
Exactly that. We're going to go in with our tomatoes. Drop the heat down now a bit.
And do you like to add a little pinch of sugar to just...
I will add a touch of sugar now to help break down the tomatoes, help bring out that sweetness from them as well. Okay, so now over there. Good pinch of sugar, maybe two. We've got quite a bit of spice going in. Right, I'm going to add a little bit of our chicken stock next. We're going to go in with the mince and start breaking everything up.
And also the great thing is the quinoa will absorb and use that chicken stock to really
Exactly that.
beef itself up. So in
Exactly
front of me, Chef Tyron, I've
Yes.
got the finished product.
Yes,
So while you continue there, I'm going to assemble on our side. Now, I don't know about you, how do you prefer to serve nachos?
I love having everything, you know, nachos on the base of the plate, meat on top, cheese as you go, and then everybody can sort of pick and share.
Pick and share as they go along.
Yeah, exactly. Nice family-style meals.
So you can do it this way, or you can simply share your nachos afterwards, but it's always great to use the nachos as a nice base. We've got the complete chili here that Chef Tyron is still busy making. What are you adding right now?
Okay,
Mince?
mince is going in, and then we're going to break this up so we don't get any big lumps.
Oh, this is a great recipe, great for sharing, and something about making your chili in bulk ahead of time.
Yeah.
We can also freeze.
Yeah, this is a great recipe to bulk up and freeze, and you know, pull out for a rugby game or a football game when you got mates over and stuff like that. Not too spicy. I'm sure the kids will enjoy it too.
Definitely. And then we want to finish it off with a dollop of our Clover Bliss double cream. We're going for the plain because if it is a bit of chili, like the name says, it is also going to have a nice little bite to it. I've added some jalapenos, and we're simply just going to dollop a bit of this. That will add as a bit of a sauce and also neutralize any of the spicy spices that you have in your bowl. Look at that. Oh, Chef Tyron, I love this
couldn't have done it better
recipe.
myself.
I tried. But if you want to get your hands on this recipe, it is available on our website, expressoshow.com. Oh, look out for this delicious chili recipe by Chef Tyron.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and when it comes to, you know, yourself, when you look good, you feel good, and color is a universal language that we all understand. And for decades, color therapy has been used to treat physical and mental illness, and now dopamine dressing is becoming a hot trend. Now, here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show to talk us through their newest range of dopamine brights are Woolworths buyers Benela Dlepu and Mubin Modak. They are here for us today. Sorry, Mubin Modak.
Yeah.
There we go. I got it right. When it comes to dopamine dressing, it's quite trendy, but what does that exactly mean?
Well, it's bringing in the color. I mean, when we spoke just before we went on live, we were talking about color. So it's everything bright, it's everything you can think of. I mean, if you look at the rail, we've got a different arrays of color. So it's you bringing in your bright self, bright colors, and everything happiness.
And is this now bright colors in terms of you wear everything of the same color palette, or is it all the exact, you mix and match?
You can mix and match anything that tickles your fancy. As long as it's bright, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
You're good to go.
Now, Bonele, let's focus on the women's wear for now. What can we find in Woolworths stores as we approach, you know, the new season we're going into?
So with the new season that we're going, can I take you through the rail?
Please, would love to see it.
So we've got our beautiful, we've got our gilet, which is the sleeveless puffer, which comes and which is wind and water resistant, and it comes in with a little bag, so it's very practical. You take it with you, pop it into the bag, and off you go. So that's the gilet, and we've also got our the long sleeve puffer, which is almost a friend of the gilet. And then from there, you've got our longer line as the winter heightens. So you will go into your longer line puffer. So those are your puffers that you've got, and we've got them in brights and the most classic colors. We've tried to accommodate for everyone, from your classic customer to the most trendiest girl in town. And we've also got our fashion puffers, quilted. So this is the lady that wants to sort of dress up and be in fashion.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I also love how you paired the long sleeve puffer with the red tracksuit. It's stunning. I love how we were able to just layer the color on top of the color on top of the color.
Winter, it is a layering season. So if you the more you layer, the more warmer you are. And I think brights are the way to go.
Definitely, it definitely is the way to go. Let's see that on a model. I feel like people often judge clothing by the hanger.
Totally.
So we're bringing in our model that is wearing the beautiful pink color that I'm wearing today. Talk me through this look.
So Julie is wearing our beanie. You can never go without an accessory. So Julie is wearing one of our accessories. We've got beanies and scarves in different colors. And I've got the blue, and then we've got the greens. You'll get them in stores. She's got the gilet, which is the sleeveless version of our long line puffer, which I'm wearing. And she's got our fleece, which is one of our key items for this winter season. And she's good to go.
She is good to go. I love this look from head to toe. Mubin, I feel like when it comes to women's fashion, it always takes the spotlight, but the men's fashion is up there too and deserves the limelight too. Now, I know color is something often men shy away from, or at least the men I know in my life, but talk me through, what can men expect from the menswear range this year?
I think from a menswear point of view, we went with a more toned down color palette with a nod to nature. So you'll see a lot more of mid-tones of reds, greens, blues, and mustards. And then underpinned with that is our new naturals, which would be our new stones, camels, browns, and creams.
I love that. So are you currently dressed in the color palette? And what do we have on the railing that is perfect for men this winter?
So just to take you through puffers first. So here we've got our sleeveless puffer, which is ideal for layering like the way I am doing. Then we've got our expect to find basic funnel neck puffer that comes in an array of colors, that's light but yet warm. And then if you are that cold person, we've got you covered as well with a heavier weight extra wadding for warmth, as well as with the hoodie. And this also comes in an array of colors. Then I think my favorite category for winter is fleece. And I think the two main items that we all wear on a daily basis is the crew neck and the hoodie, because it's very versatile and easy to wear.
And you also dress it so beautifully, especially with the sleeveless puffer.
Yes, it does. And then we also got the zips. So we've got the quarter zip. This is something that you can dress up and down. And then we also got the full zip that brings the sporty look to it. If you want extra home thin fleece, we've got our zip-through Sherpa line hoodie. So if you're scared of doing a full Sherpa, we've got you covered in terms of the inner, which creates extra warmth as well. Then I think the two key items in fleece is quilting. So this is a new item for us. It's a key item for the season. Diamond quilting is big in fleece and in jackets. So we've got this easy, oversized with a quarter placket.
And it's great to have that added texture.
It is.
Now, we also have a model that we'd love to bring through, but talk me through that.
Then this is another key item. So we normally look at the bombers as a jacket, but this season we're introducing it in a fleece as one of the key items as well.
Fantastic. So men are sorted, but let's bring our model in so that we can also see the look on the flesh.
So
and I love the use of color here.
Yeah, so just what Aya's wearing is easy. So fleece is very versatile. You can wear it in any form. So he's wearing the crew neck fleece in mustard. Underneath that, he's wearing a shirt. But you can also wear a t-shirt underneath it. That's how versatile it is. And then he's also layering it up with our quilted puffer, just in the ladies' wear. We've got a quilted puffer in men's as well. And then he's wearing it back to a slim fit denim, but you could wear it with denim, you could wear it with cargos like the way I'm wearing, you could wear it with chinos as well, and then underpinned by our white sneaker.
Oh, a classic look. Mobeen, thank you for joining us. Panele, thank you so much for being here, talking us through what dopamine dressing is all about and bringing the bright colors and also the toned down colors, but bringing color to your screen and to your wardrobe. If you want to get any of these looks, you can shop it in-store, online, and on the Woolies app.
Did you cover the swag, the drippy, the puffer jacket with the hoodie, plus the cargo, plus the zing?
Add to cart. Add to cart.
Wow.
I love it.
I think that's going to be my vibe for the winter, man.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Consider
style,
Consider done. And you'd look good at it. But listen, man, the last 25 years, the South African Style Awards have been celebrating the color and also the impactful individuals who've inspired change within our nation.
Yeah, and on Sunday evening, Fez attended this prestigious event hosted at the Graham Contemporary Art Gallery at Hyde Park Corner. Let's check it out.
The South African Style Awards celebrates individuals who, in their respective careers, disrupt the creative process in business. Now, it's not about the clothes you wear, but rather what you've accomplished. It's award season, and we're here at Hyde Park Corner, where the 25th installment of the SA Style Awards, brought to you by Plascon, is taking place. Don't miss it. Gillian, we are currently on the 25th anniversary of the SA Style Awards. It seems like this incredible milestone. What actually started this award show?
This is to honor those incredible, innovative South Africans who have achieved within their genre of business. And so it's just been remarkable that we could honor these people and find new creatives over 25 years.
I think tonight is so important because, you know, we have such great talent in so many creative fields and in business fields in our country, and it needs to be celebrated. So the South African Style Awards for 25 years celebrates South Africans doing the greatest things. It's a sad day today because one of our award winners was AKA, and he was one of the newcomer award winners at the time. But we have celebrated everyone from the late AKA right through to Basitsana Mahalimela Kumalo, right through to all of Miss South Africa's, people like Charlize Theron, people like Princess Shalene of Monaco. I mean, we've really had the best of the best that have made this list. So it's an honor to be presenting with these esteemed people, and of course, tonight, phenomenal people across the board, but Sipho Hot Six Mabuza, what a legend.
We are here with the icon, a winner, a legend, a person who, I have to say, looks better than me tonight. Baba, Mabuse, thank you so much for being here. And this outfit, who put it together for you?
This was designed in Soweto, backyard designers, you know. I went to them and I said, listen, tomorrow I'm going to celebrate, you know, Valentine's Day with my colleagues, and I want to look the part. What can you guys do?
You won an award. What does the SA Style Awards mean to you?
I've always maintained that in our industry, it's how you carry yourself, you know. And I hope and trust that I've done my little bit to actually ensure that people look at us as artists, as respectable people.
Sebastian, this is an absolutely incredible event, but you are the person who's going to be speaking for Plascon. Could you tell us why the SA Style Awards and Plascon is such a beautiful collaboration?
If you think about beautifying your home and fashion and bringing out people's uniqueness at home, that's exactly what we're trying to celebrate here at the SA Style Awards. Each category is unique. It's developed in South Africa. It's people that have really added to the South African context.
It's very often people associate style to how it is that you look. But as you see, it's the most stylish change maker, the most stylish businesswoman, the most stylish innovator. It's varied this year in terms of what it is that it represents. It's the essence of what you carry.
I think this particular award definitely holds a little bit more, it has a little bit more weight. One, particularly because it's one I've been waiting for so many years, because of what it stands for, I think what it represents, and yeah, the honor it is, and it's always been for the past 25 years to have an SA Style Award. If you look at the, we'll call them alumni, right, of the SA Style Awards, from Charlize Theron to all of my industry peers, right? And seeing the people that you have worked side by side with, and more than it is you looking at them and saying, why not me? You're actually motivated and encouraged to be like, how can I push further? You know, and how can I be motivated and inspired even more by my peers so that, you know, I kind of, yeah, get there.
This is very personal for me, right? I've always said that my vision and mandate is to be an example of God's unlimited glory. And we've seen it with a lot of African stars. There's no ceiling, there's no cusp. My looks are a form of storytelling, and that's what I do in my work. So I'm doing it for the other girls, man. I'm doing it for the black girls, I'm doing it for the dark-skinned girls, and I'm doing it for every single South African and African, and I'm taking this to the global stage. So hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Leanne, you look absolutely pulchritudinous. Yes, it's a big word. I learned it today just so I can say that you look beautiful.
Oh, fantastic. I'll take it. Whatever you said, thank you. I'll take the compliment. I'm going to have to Google it later, though.
This is what I do. Homework for the winners, worthy winners of a Style Award. But speaking about winning the award, how does that feel for you?
I've been in this industry for a very, very long time. It's the longevity of being, the things you do. It's the ability to adjust to any situation. And for me, style is something inside. And if anybody appreciates what they see on the outside due to what's happening inside, I love it. And being acknowledged for how you look and the way you hold yourself in this industry, for me, is just such an honor. I love it.
The 25th year of the SA Style Awards is like so significant because this has been the benchmark for people who are disruptors in their chosen industry. It's not just about style, it's about people making a difference. And the fact that they've been around celebrating people for so long, I think that is quite a milestone.
I can't say anything. Everybody can see. I mean,
the drama, right?
I have to say, of all the outfits I've seen today, when you came in, I had to kind of get my jaw and bring it back up. You look phenomenal.
I've been obviously attending for years and supporting Jill and all the amazing work that she does. So to finally be acknowledged amongst all these incredible industry giants, it's such an honor. For me, it's really just personal expression. That's what fashion is. Even if it doesn't work, that's totally fine. I just think for me, especially being in this industry that's more red carpet, stilettos, feminine, to come in and do it in my kicks and get recognized for it is just so fire.
So the Style Awards for me has always been beyond just the aesthetics. It's beyond just the well put together person who has a stylist who's responsible for their look. It's about the person, how they express their everyday life. The next 25 years, I think it's all about coming back home, that authenticity that we all crave, because everybody's got this super curated look. And there's few people who are really, really authentic. So I think the next generation of winners are people who are literally going to be about themselves, who are real.
Wow. An evening we're definitely not going to forget anytime soon. Congratulations to all the incredible winners, and thank you to the SA Style Awards and of course Plascon South Africa for continuing to push innovation and the creative process and bringing us these incredible individuals.
That was on point.
I just want to be stylish now.
Huh?
Inspired, man. Did you see how they look?
Did you see that the hot sticks there with the greasy hair and the greasy there? Beautiful stuff. True style and elegance indeed.
Man.
And each of the winners is unique in their choice of tones and coloring in their worlds with creativity and individuality.
Yes. Congratulations. And that's to all 13 deserved winners of this year's SA Style Awards. And that's brought to you by Plasco.
Nominee for next year? Look at that. Top of the way.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
It's The Crush. Unlock your 100% TV show. Catch all the excitement as we unlock Crush fans' full potential to live their dreams. Watch the show on SABC2 starting on the 1st of February every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Plus, you stand a chance to win your share of thousands of prizes. Simply buy any Crush and follow the pack for entry details. Crush, 100% goodness.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Thursday morning. I hope that you've enjoyed it so far. We've had so much inspiration from a fashion sense. We've been talking all about our emotions as well, how to, of course, kind of ventilate those in a healthy manner, as well as getting you ready for the weekend in terms of getting you exercising and moving. And I don't know where Zoe's finding her inspiration this morning. Oh, there she is. Touching up her lips, apparently.
Currently very impressed that I'm in touch with the dopamine dressing, but just doing some final touches and I'm good to go. Yes, we've still got 2 hours left.
What happened to working? Are we working at all? Is this what we do for fun now? Is this what...
We get to work for
all
fun.
Right, Zoe. Okay. Enjoy that. All right, now let's get you ready for the day with the headlines with Ryle.
Oh yes, we're working indeed. It's just gone past the hour. It's time to kick off with official duties once again and starting on national news headlines. Now first up, President Cyril Ramaphosa will jet off to the much anticipated 36th African Union, otherwise known as AU Summit in Ethiopia tomorrow. Now the gathering of continental leaders will celebrate the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, otherwise known as the OAU. Now this and the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the AU, which is the successor to the OAU. Now, presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya says Ramaphosa will chair the AU Peace and Security Summit on the political situation in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, Ramaphosa will also focus on the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. While sticking to national news headlines, the World Health Organization has expressed concern about an outbreak of measles in more than 20 countries, and this including South Africa. Now, the SA Department of Health is participating with the organization in a nationwide vaccination campaign to limit the spread of the disease. Now, the Western Cape Department of Health has urged parents and guardians of children between the ages of 6 months and 15 years to ensure that their children receive booster doses against measles. Now, Dr. Damene Aliayu, a measles consultant at the WHO, says the disease is very serious. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news. And Nicola Sturgeon has confirmed that she is resigning as Scotland's First Minister after more than 8 years in the role. Now, the Scottish National Party leader said she knew, and quoted, "In my head and in my heart, this was the right time to step down," unquote. Now, Sturgeon said she would remain in office until her successor was elected. Now, she is longest serving First Minister and the first woman to hold the position. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has thanked Sturgeon for her long-standing service, and Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer praised her dedication and passion. Well, carrying on with the international news headlines, at least 73 migrants are missing and presumed dead after their boat sank off the Libyan coast. Now, only 7 people survived Tuesday's shipwreck, but are in, and quote, extremely dire conditions, unquote, in hospital. Now, so far, 11 bodies have been recovered by the Libyan Red Crescent and police, and the boat was heading to Europe on a route known as the world's deadliest migratory sea crossing. Now, more than 130 people have already succumbed this year while attempting the dangerous crossing over the Mediterranean Sea. Well, our condolences are definitely with all those and their loved ones. But for now, though, news of a more warming note. A dozen African cheetahs are set to arrive in India after 8 of the big cats were transferred from neighboring Namibia last year. Now, 5 females and 7 males will be flown from South Africa to a national park in central India. Now, the transfer is part of an agreement signed by SA in January to introduce dozens of cheetahs to India over the next decade. Now, Asiatic cheetahs became extinct in India in the late 1940s, and this due to excessive hunting and loss of habitat. Now, a wildlife expert associated with the project said the cheetahs are expected to reach the Kuna National Park by noon on Saturday. Now, Uttam Sharma, director of the park, said all preparations to receive them had been completed and everyone involved was awaiting their arrival with huge excitement. Now, proponents of the project say that the reintroduction of cheetahs will build local economies and help restore ecosystems that support the big cats. Well, exciting stuff indeed. For now, though, I'll leave you with the rest of the headlines. Here's the latest when it comes to the roads and the traffic.
Thank you, Raul. Well, let's start off with traffic in Cape Town in the Western Cape. There's congestion on the N2 inbound at Jakes Gerwel Drive. Expect heavy delays, and please add extra travel time to your journey this morning. And staying in Cape Town, there's a stationary vehicle. It's on the N2 outbound at Merwe. That left lane is blocked. Please approach with caution. Well, that's your traffic for now. Let's take another look at your weather. And we start off with a bit of news. The Nelson Mandela Bay Metro is intensifying its efforts to eradicate invasive plants at dams and in catchment areas as part of a project to save water. The removal of invasive plants contributes to more rainwater reaching the dams. More than 75 hectares at the 2 dams that supply the city with water have already been cleared in the first phase of the project. The Mayor's Committee member for Infrastructure, Dries van der Westhuizen, says they focus especially on Port Jackson's and wattle trees. Now, van der Westhuizen says invasive species can use up to 500 kilolitres of water per hectare in densely populated areas. Meanwhile, spokesperson for the Department of Water and Sanitation, Visane Mavasa, says the Algoa water supply system, which supplies the Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan, is still at a very low level, registering 13.1%. Mavasa urged communities in and around Metro to continue using water sparingly. Well, for your 7 a.m. update, let's look at those sunrise views. Kicking us off is Mark Bozeman out in George, who shared this orange-filled sunrise photo with us while enjoying some coffee. And then Wendy from midstream snapped this magical yellow sky while she says goodbye to her kids before they head to school. Fatah Khan in Richards Bay, she's out and about walking around the harbour enjoying the fresh air. And Louise G. Cherry from Alberton shared another blissful photo. Look at that beautiful photo of the sky filling up the clouds. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, if you have a sunrise view to share with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line. It's 063 408 8863. Let's look at those temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, your low is 18, your high 27. Mbombela 2029, Pretoria 1828, Johannesburg 16 with a high of 25. Mahikeng 1726, Klerksdorp 1825, Kimberley 1828, Bloemfontein 15 with a high of 23. Richards Bay, your low is 23, your high 28. If you're in Pietermaritzburg, 19's your low, 24 your high. Durban 23 reaching a high of 27, Mthatha 18 with a high of 22, East London 21 reaching a high of 24. Thunder showers in Cradock 17 with a high of 25, Gqeberha your low is 20, your high 24, George 17-23, Cape Town 18-23. If you're in Worcester, 17 your low, 25 your high. Sutherland 13 with a high of 25, and Uppington, brace yourself, your low is 21, your high 36 degrees Celsius. Well, that's your weather for now. We'll have another final update for you shortly after 8. And if you have a sunrise view to share with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line.
Hey, social media behind the scenes. Check it out. What's up? Come with me now, please. You can see why I'm so excited. Check it out. We've got a little superstar in the building from the Ear Academy. Say hello to Mika. What's up? Say hi. And then we've got the rest of the crew out here, Yehuda as well as Russ. They're all from the Ear Academy, and they're doing something so special. They're going to be jamming, going freestyle right here, and we're going to be interviewing them, talking about new ways to educate when it comes to online learning and, of course, instruments too. So these jammers, this jammer, and this one over here, we'll all see you later. Cheers.
I'm such a champ right now. Such a champ right now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back at your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're talking about something that is so pertinent right now, and that's technology and education. And technology is democratizing the arts. Now, that is a statement that rings true for celebrated musicians and educators. Now, Russ Norwich and Hein van der Geen, who have come together to form the Ear Academy. Now, this is a new project that promises to marry the rigor and quality of traditional music education with the accessibility, scalability, and flexibility of modern online digital offerings. Now, with us this morning, it's not just Russ, but we've got some students in the building as well. It's Yehuda and Mika as well. So, Yehuda, you are the dad of Mika, right? Both learning, both students on the show. I can see Mika's very excited, but we will chat to you right now. How are you feeling, by the way? It's your first time on live TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, you excited?
Yeah.
I love that smell. Russ, let's get straight into it, man. Look, we've obviously got the traditional styles of learning when it comes to music or even in general, but what is setting this new style apart? What are the advantages of this new sort of Ear Academy way of learning?
So I think it's giving accessibility to people to learn,
yeah,
and it's giving them tools and resources that can serve them better, that enable them to learn and grow and develop at their own pace, not only when they're with their music teachers, but in between those lessons, and it's immersive, so it's fun and enjoyable, and can develop more consistently.
Yeah. Now, Yehuda, is this something that you've taken on in the past, or is this the first time you've actually started learning music with this system?
So I've tried to learn music a couple of times.
Yeah.
As an adult, it's quite difficult because
Okay.
you also know how bad you are when you make the wrong sounds.
Yeah.
And also, when do you have a chance to practice? So it's, you've got a full work day and you've got to look after your kids, and so yeah, this has been an amazing opportunity to develop properly because it's a proper education and I can do it when it works for me.
On your own time, so you don't have to rush and commit to making that class at that time.
Exactly.
Whenever it suits you, you can make it work for you, right? Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you get to do it with like your daughter as well, which is obviously like a cherry on the top. How long have you been studying for now or learning music?
Since I was 3.
3 years old? What? That's amazing. And what instruments do you play?
The piano, I used to play a little bit of trumpet and ukulele.
Wow, and you're already, how old are you now?
I'm 8 turning 9.
Oh my word, like 3 or 4 instruments already. I can't even play one. So you're definitely a superstar already. What's your favorite one?
Piano.
Piano, nice. So theoretically, someone like me could even learn piano on a program like this at the Ear Academy?
Definitely.
Okay. So what exactly even started or got you inspired in starting this initiative in the first place? Was there somewhat of like a gap in the market? Was there a way that you're seeing musicians taught that just wasn't working for you? What was that inspiration?
I think Hein and I started to speak about how fantastic it would be if music education was available pervasively throughout schools, wealthy schools, poor schools, resource schools, under-resourced schools, and using technology, you can distribute those tools evenly. And we just looked at how we could make the education broader and deeper and more immersive and more enjoyable.
So maybe you can take me through like an example. What exactly is the difference here, or how is this actually being taught? Like, what's going on in a session? What can I kind of expect when I sign up for this academy?
Well, Yudz, I'm going to defer to you. I think I'm a little bit biased. I'll tell you.
Yeah, maybe you are.
What's your experience?
Straight from your experience, what's it been like?
So I think one of the incredible things is that, the process of learning from a teacher is really important and has always been really important in music. And one of the challenging things about technology is how do you have that personal touch? And
Yes.
that's, I think one of the incredible things about the ear is that there's this real human transfer of information, the way that Hein and the different teachers explain stuff. You get that magic that you feel like you're actually learning from a human, and that's part of, the distribution by technology.
Yes.
And then the other thing is that there's, teachers will have different styles, but in the ear, at each level, there's a bunch of different playgrounds. And some of those are like very technical, and different humans respond differently.
Okay.
Like some enjoy the maths, some want to train their ear, some want to do more freestyle things.
Yes.
And this allows you to get into each stage in a way that works for you. And you can find, okay, I'm really good at this, I'll enjoy that. I'm not good at this, so let me practice that. But you get that feeling of being supported while you learn.
And identifying your strengths and weaknesses. And speaking of strengths, you all can jam and you all can clearly play. And that's what we're going to hear a little bit later, Mzansi. Mika, I can see how excited she is because she'll be on the piano. Is that right?
Yeah.
The piano? All right, Yehuda's also going to be jamming and Russ. So don't go anywhere, Mzansi. It's going to be something special. They haven't really planned a specific set. They're kind of just going freestyle, just sending off some good energy. And we are here for it. But before we get into that, let's head to the kitchen, fill up the bellies, and then it's time for performance. See you there.
Yeah, looking forward to the music a little bit later on, Mr. Demorne. But this morning, we are also taking some of our favorite dishes and then serving them up in a jar and keeping things on trend. We've got private chef Tyron Taplin, who joins us in the kitchen to give us some great tips on how to put these office-friendly lunches together. And a man who's got a very interesting life as a private chef, I was learning just now, man. It sounds like it's an exciting thing.
Yeah, it's a very exciting gig. I get a lot more time to myself and also quite a lot of creativity. And
excellent.
Yeah, which is good. It's a nice lifestyle change for me.
Is this the typical thing that you'd be cooking every day at your work?
Not really. My boss does like quite a lot of Asian food, but we definitely wouldn't be cooking tofu in my house. But yeah, sorry, just to start off with here, guys, we're just toasting off some tofu before we start building up our bowl. You could swap out the proteins for anything, really. Fresh sashimi-grade tuna, salmon, Norwegian salmon, smoked salmon. You could even do chicken and or beef if you would like.
Quick question, tofu.
Yes.
Is it a cheese? What is it? Like
tofu is it's a fermented soybean.
Fermented soybean.
Yeah, that they make a paste out of, and then go from there.
And it takes on flavors quite easily, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, it takes on marinades really, really well. It's very absorbent, so you can really flavor it any way, any sort of theme you want. I've seen a lot of chefs sort of go Greek and Italian with it as well, similar to how you marinate feta and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, cool. So we got our rice there. Have
Yeah.
you prepared that rice in any particular kind of way since it's a poke bowl?
So you can either use basmati and or sushi rice, but just cook as to packet instructions unless you have a rice cooker. It's normally the simplest way to do it.
Good stuff.
Chef tip.
Get your rice in there.
Yeah, so we're going to get the rice down at the base or all over the board. One of the two.
Whichever you prefer.
Whichever you prefer.
Leave some for later.
It's going to look pretty in the jar at least. Cool. Tamp it down a little bit. Then if you can slice up that avo for me, I'm going to make you do all the hard work.
Okay, there we go.
Nice, perfect.
It's already been sliced in half. So I just need to kind of get it into those beautiful cubes.
And then I've layered in some cucumbers here. We're going to go on top of the avos. And then I've already got some pre-cooked tofu here, so we're going to stick that.
So I'm taking my time with this because presentation is very important.
Presentation is key. You eat with your eyes first.
There we go.
I think that's why we're plating this in a jar. You know, there's something quite fun about rocking up at the office when you've got your beautiful lunch all stacked up and everybody can see it rather than in a dodgy old Tupperware.
There we go. There we go. How's that look?
That's perfect.
Decent.
Just a half.
Just a half?
Just a half will do.
Okay, cool. I'll pass it over to you.
Cheers. Thank you very much there, chef.
All right.
Now I'm good here with this.
Okay. So you're getting your carbs in the rice, you're getting your greens in certainly with the cucumber and the avocado over there.
Yeah, good healthy fats with the avo. Yeah, it's a very well-rounded lunch. Cool, so now we're going to go on top with a little bit of our tofu and just layer that up there.
And will that cater for your protein?
Yeah, your protein. There we go, sorry, one or two more. That looks like a good lunch. Obviously,
stack it up real high.
Yeah, if you're a bigger eater, you can fill up the jar completely. We might as well. We got all the stuff.
Go for it. Go for it.
Cool. And then
What's
let's
next?
just garnish this up with some beautiful pickled ginger.
Beautiful.
Just to lighten everything up. Give a little bit of acidity to the dish.
Excellent.
And now you could dress this with teriyaki. You could do a hoisin. You could do gochujang glazes, stuff like that.
Classic soy sauce.
Yeah, good old soy sauce. Nothing wrong with that. Bit of sesame oil if you'd like. Cool, we're going to go with some sesame seeds too, right on top. And then just to garnish, we're going to go with a little bit of our nori that we've cut here into strips.
Okay.
Yeah, just
no special preparation needed there. You buy it just like that, dry, cut it up into strips.
Cut it into strips, tear it into pieces. I would recommend cutting it with scissors. It does not like to be cut with a knife. And then just to top it off, we've got some lovely QP mayonnaise.
There we go.
Sushi mayo. So get that nicely stuffed in there. Oh, still popping out. Okay.
Very convenient, very easy to prepare. You can, of course, find this on our website as well if you're looking for a little guide into the ingredients of making your own poke jar, expressoshow.com. So you want to get, like, nice amounts of that mayo in there.
Good amounts of mayo.
And then when it's eating time, do you just kind of shake it up?
That's exactly that. So we'll chuck the lid on it, and like you're making a cocktail, give it a good shake around, knock it about. You can also sort of do this while you're walking to and from the fridge in your office.
Exactly.
Making everybody jealous, showing off your lunch.
Look at that.
Turn.
Brilliant
Everything's
stuff,
nice and marinated, nice and mixed.
Thanks a lot, brother man.
Cheers.
Excellent stuff. Hope that inspires you. Check out the recipe on our website, expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back at your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Thursday morning, and as always, we are delighted to be in your company. Thanks so much for joining us at the start of a brand new day. Now, we've probably been told this a million times. Screen time for kids is bad, particularly video games. It's so bad. But is that entirely true, though? Well, that's what Grant is here to chat about. A man who knows a thing or two about games and spending time in front of a screen. And he's, of course, turned it into a very successful livelihood and career as well. So I would assume that you are on the side of, wait, let's reason this out.
Look, like everything in life, there's no black and white. There's a lot of gray. And it's the same with screen time. I think there's a lot of people that villainize it.
Yeah.
And again, I think South Africa is historically very technophobic. And we have this tendency to just kind of write off all forms of technology. Kids must play in the garden, and fair enough.
It's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of rules with our daughter like that.
Yeah.
But video games aren't as bad as you think.
Yeah, and here we are in 2023 in an ever-evolving world where technology is leading the way. So the sooner you get your kids au fait with it, whether it be in game format or in, device format, great, as long as it's in a balanced kind of way. Let's talk about how screen time and games more specifically affect a child's brain, right? Because I think that's what most parents are worried about. Like, your imagination won't develop like it's supposed to. At least that's what I keep saying.
Well, let's start off with the good, because I think that's going to take, and then we'll talk about a little bit of the bad. Well, they did some functional MRI brain scans and analyses on kids and found that kids who played more than 3 hours of video games a day showed like higher brain activity in regions of the brain that are associated with attention and memory.
Okay.
So when you have to be focused on tasks for an extended period of time, obviously video games allow you to focus on those tasks.
And especially like where there's like a jeopardy in it. Like if you're not focused, then this is going to happen.
There are consequences to it. And then obviously problem solving requires memory, and a lot of the things that you do and participate in the game requires you to remember things. It's a puzzle. I always tell parents that video games is like active TV. You get passive TV where they just sit and absorb something.
Right.
You know, but because you've done it and you can sit catatonic in front of the TV and absorb it. But video games is your child has the opportunity to participate.
Okay.
And because of that participation, they're switching on parts of their brain that they weren't. So it's better than just vegetating.
But like thinking about it like a puzzle, like an active puzzle.
Yes, it's just displayed differently. So they also experience higher social activity with multiplayer games. Children that, or anybody actually, goes for all human beings, who play games where you're interacting with other people and have to work together. So team-based shooters, for instance, or League of Legends, or Dota. Those games where you have to collaboratively work as a team and play a role often have much better team skills and team communication than other people that do solo games. You also obviously have better hand-eye coordination, and there's obviously better teamwork and group problem solving. And then again, like you were saying, they are more technologically savvy because they're exposed to technology, and there's a form of technological literacy that comes with using technology. It is a privilege for us to have technology, and if you do have the privilege to share that with your children, allow them to learn how to code. That's also excellent.
Okay.
And then let's switch on to a little bit of the bad.
A bit of the bad. Too much of a good thing is bad, right?
Yes, and obviously there are negative side effects, but it's good to be aware of both so that you can help mitigate them. Firstly, antisocial behavior, especially with the wrong kinds of games. If children are spending hours and hours and hours of their day unbalanced, just playing games by themselves that aren't multiplayer games, they do tend to develop more antisocial traits. So there needs to be a little bit of a balance. And on the converse, some multiplayer games that throw you into spaces with other people that you are not aware of can also expose your children to things that you don't want them to, or ideologies that you don't want them to.
Yeah, and as a parent, it's important then for you to be actively involved.
Yes, and this is what we've said this on the show, and I've said it all the time. Be an active participant in your child's hobbies, if it's video games or not, but especially in video games because it's a space where they can put on headphones, talk to other people, and disappear. And you can be a part of that space and be a part of the memories as they grow up. And Dad used to play those games with me, Mom used to play those games with me. And make those spaces happy and understand them so you can help parent them.
And then, of course, we want to keep it a balance as well. So spend enough time developing your skills, teamwork skills, communication skills while playing games, but then also go climb a tree.
Yeah,
around in the
use
garden.
those skills on the soccer field.
Hey,
right?
We like that. Now, of course, stay tuned because a bit later on, we'll be taking a look at some of the most popular games out there, including one called, is it Forspoken?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Forspoken and some Marvel games.
Let's go.
Oh, yes, and speaking of skills, it's time to check out the skills of the students of the EAR Academy, and they're going to be joined by Russ. He's one of the co-founders of the EAR Academy. It's a father-daughter duo. We're talking about Mika and Yehuda right now, and this is something exceptional. You're going to absolutely love it. It's called Mika's Groove. Enjoy.
What do you mean? That was amazing. That is how you jam, Mzansi. That was a freestyle Mika's groove. Mika, you were awesome. I loved it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. And if you want to learn more, you want to get your e-learning on and also take and tackle an instrument, you can head over to earacademy.com. So that's ear-academy.com. And it is an exceptional way to learn an instrument using tech and having a load of fun while you do it. Guys, that was awesome. Good luck on the jamming. Mzansi, get your jam on.
Unlock your 100% this Wednesday evening at 7:30. Meet a medical doctor who dreams of expressing his creativity through beautiful floral arrangements.
I'm going to need some help, Rel. I mean, I don't even know the names of all of these flowers.
Oh man, that's exactly why we are here. We're about to unlock your 100%.
Can't wait.
We need to create an event where he can really push his creativity as well as his passion for flowers. Follow Tennis Merwe's journey Wednesday, the 22nd of February at 7:30 p.m. on SABC2.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hey, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Thursday morning as we dive right into the gaming world. Earlier on, we talked about the benefits of gaming for younger ones out there. Now, maybe for a bit of an older audience, and certainly gaming enthusiasts out there might be excited for this title, RPG called Forspoken. G?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
So what's up with this game? Why is it so exciting and why is everyone kind of excited to see it?
Because I don't know if you know a publisher called Square Enix. They make a lot of the Final Fantasy games. And those
that was huge at some point.
They're huge today. What are you talking about? They're still making them. And they're still out there. And those are really, you know, they've got veteran developers and veteran game directors and makers. They've typically been in Eastern like settings, mostly Japanese. And now they have now touched the Western world. So they've kind of like, this is a Western fantasy using a lot of that, that kind of, or the metal behind those games. So people were really excited for this. You play this character, her name is Frey. She's from New York. It's very story-based, and in New York modern times. And just like the world of Narnia, I mean, I think the graphics are actually pretty phenomenal, but just like the world of Narnia, she gets thrust into this fantasy world by putting on a cuff. It's kind of like, you know, the Land Before Time, no, the Never-Ending Story kind of vibe.
You're taking me way back right now.
Yeah, so it's this really interesting take on that motif of genre, and then with the gameplay of a Final Fantasy like RPG, and then they've got these like really cool like tools and sets that you can use to upgrade your character. For instance, because your character is a woman in modern times, you get nail polish to upgrade your character. So the different nail polish that you have is like applying different relics that you would in other games. So like different abilities. So that kind of thing. So it's a very interesting and exciting premise of a game, and it reminds me of games that we used to play like back in the day. But I don't think it quite hits exactly where it should.
Where is it missing?
So it's a little bit clunky. It seems a little bit overambitious. The beginning part of the game is like an hour. I was so bored for the first part of the game going through the tutorial. It seemed completely unnecessary to like stop and start. And where many modern games can like teach you how to do things like organically. Yeah, so there's a little bit of that. It just feels like a little bit rushed over. But the core gameplay is a lot of fun. There's a lot of running and jumping and parkouring, and you use a lot of like magic in this world as like projectiles, which is really exciting. And it works. It works really well. And it's set in this. A lot of people are conflicted. I think it's quite a beautiful fantasy setting. A lot of people are. You'll see a lot of critical opinion.
What is the criticism all about?
A lot of people feel that's a little bit bland, a little bit sparse. But I think if narratively it makes sense that it's a little sparse, that's fine. And also, like, to be thrown into this world, it does feel to me a lot like the Never-Ending Story in a way. You know, like, and I think maybe there's a little bit of nostalgia for me on that. But as you can see, I think it just to me, this looks beautiful. I'm really confused by.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm really
at all.
Yeah, I'm really confused by some of the critique.
Talk to me about some of the other modes of the game, the side quests, you know, things that happen outside of the main gameplay that you can also dig your teeth into.
So that obviously you want to make sure that you get all your rings, your nail polish and the relics, and those are found through a lot of the side quests and a lot of the main story arc. The bosses and the players are a little bit repetitive, I think, for a lot of people. But if you are enjoying the core gameplay, I think that's fine. I don't think it has to be like the most groundbreaking game ever. I think it's still like a serviceable game with a really good story. The side quests are interesting. The world is interesting enough to hold you there. I think the premise is interesting enough to maybe make a sequel or even a film could actually come out of it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine like somebody from New York City, a young woman in her 20s, her name is Frey, finds herself like magically thrown into like this medieval setting. We've seen that motif a lot. But she uses her street smarts that she has from New York in this fantasy world, which is really cool. Like, I think that's really cool. And also, there's a lot of humor. Like, obviously, she's using a lot of like modern day street slang and stuff. And in this fantasy world, obviously, like people don't understand like what she's saying, and that's funny. Like, I know that's also overdone in a lot of films, but it's funny seeing a new kind of character. It's not you know, the typical like Howl's White Castle, you know, those. You know what I mean?
It's not that kind of.
It's like it's a new kind of character that is delivering this kind of narrative and story, which is really cool.
So I guess if we use popcorns to decide on the rating of a movie, let's use what, pixels? For a game?
Fun fact, films mostly watch Pixels too. I
Out
would
of 10.
probably say, I'd say about 6 or 7. It's hard.
7?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty decent.
It's a serviceable game.
There's a dragon. Okay, that just went up a notch.
It's a serviceable game that you're going to have a lot of fun playing. You don't need to have the best game in history. It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's still fun.
All right, check it out. It's called Forspoken, and let us know what you think about it. A bit later on, we'll be checking out some of the best Marvel games of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kat. Yes, looking forward to that. Grant Hines is not going anywhere. And speaking of Marvel, I think it's safe to say if Dynamite comes in small packages, be prepared to be blown into the quantum realm with the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania releasing in cinemas this Friday, i.e. tomorrow.
Quantumania! Now, the finale to the Ant-Man trilogy. Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne, along with Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, explore the quantum realm where they interact with strange creatures and embark on an adventure that goes beyond the limits of what they thought was possible.
And this brings them face to face with the MCU's greatest threat since Thanos, and the name is King the Conqueror. But let's find out more.
You come from above, like him. He will burn the world to find you. Who? The Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror is the new iconic villain in the MCU.
We knew we wanted to go to places that we'd never been, and pitting Ant-Man against a major villain felt perfect.
Audiences have seen a version of this character in the series Loki. This is wild. In our film, he's very different.
Kang is an infinite number of different personas. And you need an actor to be able to pull that off, and that is Jonathan Majors.
I can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. In this film, this is really a side of him we haven't seen. This is his baddest self.
I will take my revenge on those who banished me.
And I will burn them out of time.
I think the film is ultimately about how time plays within our relationship. Love, friendship, legacy. Ant-Man versus Kang. This is it. People are gonna lose their mind.
You're out of your league, Ant-Man.
Absolutely incredible, but I can hear all of you correcting me saying Kang the Conqueror. So sorry about that.
I think Kang would have loved to be called the king, though, in his defense. He would have preferred that. But listen, following Quantumania's world premiere last night, first reactions have been filtering online for the world to see. And perhaps the single most encouraging of all is that the visual effects are being widely praised as a feast for the eyes.
And paired with a stellar cast, including the formidable Jonathan Majors as the MCU's prime villain, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania promises to be a larger-than-life blockbuster like no other.
Yes, so be sure to check out Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania in cinemas nationwide this Friday. And sticking to the Marvel theme, of course, we're going to be highlighting in just a bit after this what is the best Marvel game of all time, or possibly this year. Let's find out after the break. We'll see you there.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3, and the multi-talented singer, dancer and actress, best known as Susie in her role in the popular South African soapie Suid Ooster, Natasha van der Merwe has now marked her entry into the music industry with her newly released debut single, Hou My Vas, along with the official music video. Now, Natasha, you are a woman of many talents, and we would love to hear a little bit more about your journey. I mean, having a theatre and musical background, when did you decide that, you know what, I'm going to give acting a go?
Well, firstly, thank you very much, and hello to everybody. I think obviously I studied at the Waterfront Theatre School and majored in dance, drama and musical theatre. And I don't think necessarily from the beginning was Afrikaans, the sort of going into the genre of music and Afrikaans was my first thought. I was always keen on getting into the music industry. I think it's a case of being diverse a lot of the time and trying to do as much as possible, so it was a timing thing. And then it is something I dabbled in just before I had relocated to Cape Town for Suid Ooster, and then I just decided, you know what, when the producers had come along and said, here's your storyline with Keith, one of the characters in the show, and you'll be singing, I just thought there is no better time to actually dive into this genre and jump out of the plane and launch her.
And launch her fully. Now you are here met Hou My Vas. Vertel ons bietjie meer oor hierdie liedjie.
Ja, so hierdie liedjie is 'n liefdesliedjie met 'n bietjie van 'n twist. It goes about a couple, a woman and a man, obviously in love, but the woman feels as though her partner she knows he loves her, but I don't think she's getting the love that she's expecting or wanting. And as much as he loves her, he thinks everything's fine, and she is fine, but it's a conflicting emotion of she's just fine. Is she ecstatic? Is this what she wants for the rest of her life? Which is posing the question, is love enough?
Ooh.
And so that is where the sort of juxtaposition comes in of, I really love this person, but do I stay and just be okay, or do I walk away because love isn't enough?
Oh, that is a tough predicament to find yourself in. Natasha, we are very excited to have you here and to perform that song. How did you find the transition from, being in front of the screen to just diversify yourself and now releasing your first single?
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different ball game. I've said to people, I've stood on a stage and sung in front of 2,000 people, but then yet you're doing a lot more intimate shows, it's just you on your own. There's no props and this and that. So you're very much more exposed and vulnerable. But I also see it as an opportunity to use my music to hopefully, I know what music means to me and how I feel when you hear a song that you really relate to. So hopefully somebody else out there feels the same way.
Well, most definitely with your vocals behind it. Well, Natasha van der Merwe, she is here to perform her debut single, Hou My Vas. And I definitely got the dress memo to match your outfit today, so we are already off onto a good start. Natasha, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Ek dink vanaand aan jou, dink jy ook aan my? Die goue winde waai my om en ek verdwyn. Vertel my stories van die eindelose tyd waarheen ons gaan en hoekom ek moet bly. Verdwaalde stories sit vas in my kop. Ek mis jou oë en ek mis elke hartklop. Sal jy my hande vat en soen tot ek vergeet? Jy gee my lewe, dis al wat ek nou weet. Hou my
breakfast show. What an incredible debut single, Oh My Fuss. And of course, stick around because she's not going anywhere. She has got another performance coming your way, but it's time for us to quickly catch up with this morning headlines.
Thanks, Zoe. Just 2 minutes before 8 o'clock, let's take a look at the news headlines on this Thursday morning. On the national news front, the South African National Defence Force is to establish a unit for disaster management. This comes in the wake of the declaration of a national state of disaster to respond to widespread flooding in many provinces over the past days. Now, the chief of the SANDF, General Rudzani Maphanywa, was speaking at the launch of Armed Forces Day at Richards Bay in KwaZulu-Natal on Tuesday. Now, he said planning was already underway with local disaster management entities to ensure that people receive the necessary support. Meanwhile, President Cyril Ramaphosa will jet off to the much-anticipated 36th African Union Summit in Ethiopia tomorrow. The gathering of continental leaders will celebrate the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, the OAU, and the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the AU, the successor to the OAU. Now, presidential spokesperson Vincent Magwenya says Ramaphosa will chair the AU Peace and Security Summit on the political situation in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Ramaphosa will also focus on the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. On the international news front this morning, health officials in Cameroon say they have detected 2 suspected cases of the Marburg virus close to the border with Equatorial Guinea, where there has been an outbreak of the deadly disease. Now, neither of the pair has been across the frontier. Officials are now trying to track down everyone that they have been in contact with. The World Health Organization has sent more contact tracing teams to eastern Equatorial Guinea in an attempt to contain the spread of the virus. 9 people have already succumbed to the disease in Equatorial Guinea. In other news, Nicola Sturgeon has confirmed that she is resigning as Scotland's First Minister after more than 8 years in the role. The Scottish National Party leader said she knew, quote, "In my head and in my heart, this was the right time to step down." Sturgeon said that she would remain in office until her successor was elected. She's the longest-serving First Minister and the first woman to hold the position. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has thanked Sturgeon for her long-standing service, and Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer praised her dedication and passion. And then finally, growing up in Mogosho, Kenya, 29-year-old Nelly Cheboy attended school barefoot and most nights went to bed hungry. But she dared to dream big and had a burning desire to change the lives of those around her. Now, she took her education very seriously and earned a full scholarship, a college scholarship, in fact, at the Augustana College in Illinois in the United States. And there she was introduced to the power of technology. Cheboy went from not knowing how to type on a computer to becoming a software engineer and founder in 2018 of TechLit Africa. Now, short for Technologically Literate Africa, TechLit Africa is a non-profit organization that provides students in rural Kenya with access to technology and the ability to learn fundamental digital skills. Donated computers are transported to Kenya, then refurbished locally. TechLit Africa provides the computers and curriculum to schools, and the schools provide the space where students study. Now, a Forbes Under 30 top entrepreneur and CNN hero of 2022, Nelly is living her childhood dream of helping kids unlock global opportunities. And that's the inspirational note that we leave the headlines on this Thursday morning. Right now, let's take one last look at what's happening in the world of sport with Ryle.
Thank you so much, Kat. And you may want to close your ears for this one. Starting off with soccer news, Manchester City returned to the top of the Premier League for the first time since November as they leapfrog leaders Arsenal with a vital 3-1 victory. Now, Takehiro Tomiyasu's poor back pass allowed Kevin De Bruyne to loft a finish over Aaron Ramsdale after 24 minutes. Now, Arsenal drew level 3 minutes before half-time, with Bukayo Saka scoring from the penalty spot. But Gabriel lost possession to allow Bernardo Silva and Erling Haaland to set up Jack Grealish for a deflected finish after 72 minutes before Haaland got his name on the score sheet for the 26th time in the league this season. Well, sticking to football action and moving over to the Champions League, where Karim Adeyemo scored a brilliant solo goal to condemn Chelsea to defeat in their Champions League last 16 first leg tie at Borussia Dortmund. Now, Chelsea, to their credit, pushed for an equalizer, and Emre Can swept the ball right off the goal line as Kalidou Koulibaly's deflected strike looked certain to trickle into the back of the net. Now, defeat leaves Graham Potter's side with the task of overturning the tie when the two sides meet at Stamford Bridge on the 7th of March. Now, elsewhere, goals from João Mario and David Neres secured a 2-0 win for Benfica over Club Brugge. Well, from our footballing action, we head over to the cricket pitch. And opening batter Muniba Ali became the first ever woman to score 100 for Pakistan in T20 internationals when she smashed 102 to set up a 70-run win over Ireland in the T20 World Cup. Now, the left-hander spurred Pakistan to a total of 165 for 5 after they were sent into bat. Now, Ireland were bowled out for 95, with Nashra Sundu claiming career best figures of 4 for 18. Now, the other match saw India overcome the West Indies by 7 wickets, and Dipti Sharma took 3 for 15, while Rika Ghosh hit 44 runs not out to guide her side over the line. Well, lastly, in our sporting action and news, Formula One, Lewis Hamilton has begun talks over a new contract with Mercedes. And this, the Formula One team has confirmed on Wednesday. Now, the 7-time world champion said during the launch of the team's new car for the 2023 season at Silverstone that he, and quote, is planning to stay a bit longer. Now, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff added later discussions over an extension to Hamilton's £40 million a season deal. Now, this tending to expire at the end of the year, and it has already begun. Well, I'll leave you with the rest of the headlines right now. Here's the latest when it comes to road and traffic, and Zoe has the latest.
Thank you, Ral, and we start off with traffic in Bedfordview, Johannesburg. There's been a multi-vehicle accident on the N3 northbound after the Galulis interchange. The right lane is closed and traffic is slow moving. Then moving to Bloemfontein in the Free State, there's been an accident with a truck on the N3 route, and that is north of Warden. Traffic is queuing in both directions. And that's where we leave your traffic. Let's take a final look at your weather. And some news, the SA Weather Service says disruptive rain that has caused much damage over Limpopo, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape the past week will continue today. Persistent thunder showers have caused havoc across the country, with 14 lives lost, homes submerged, vehicles swept away and agriculture affected by floodwaters. Weather experts attribute this to the La Nina weather phenomenon. Now, the Weather Service has meanwhile issued an orange level 5 warning for continued rain over the Wild Coast, the adjacent interior of the Eastern Cape, parts of KwaZulu-Natal, Northwest and the Free State. A yellow level 2 warning applies to parts of Gauteng and the Southern Highveld, the Lowveld and escarpment of Mpumalanga and Limpopo. Extreme high fire danger conditions are expected over the central parts of the Northern Cape, and uncomfortable, hot and humid conditions will continue to prevail over the Cederberg and Berg River municipalities in the Western Cape. Well, for your final weather update, let's look at those sunrise views. Tylen in Kruger's Klerksdorp kicking us off, showcasing a calm sky while he enjoys moving a morning chat with his friend. And then Valerie from Northwest is outside enjoying the morning air. And what a beautiful photo. Look at those pastel colors. And then Emile Jones showcased this phenomenal photography skills in Beklu. What a great way to wake up. And last, we have Goitsemeng in Tabanku sharing this perfect photo of the blue sky inspired by nature. Well, if you have a sunrise view to share with us, our WhatsApp line's on your screen. It's 063 408 8863. But let's look at today's temperatures. Polokwane, your low is 18, your high 27. Mbombela 20 with a high of 29. Pretoria 18-28. Johannesburg, your low is 17, your high 25. Mahikeng 17-25. Klerksdorp 18-25. If you're in Kimberley, your low is 18, your high 27. Bloemfontein 15, 23, Richards Bay 23 with a high of 28. Pietermaritzburg 19, 24, Durban 23 reaching a high of 27. Thunder showers in Mthatha 18 with a high of 22. East London 21 with a high of 24. If you're in Cradock, 17 is your low, 25 your high. Rainy conditions in Gqeberha with a low of 20, a high of 24. George 1723, Cape Town 1823. If you're in Worcester, 17 is your low, 25 your high. Sutherland 1325, Uppington, your low for today is 21 and your high 36 degrees Celsius. Well, that's your weather update this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Little BTS action for you there, taking a look behind the scenes. Look who's just joined us in the studio. Who's that? Who's that? That JP Sebastian?
Please ignore this. These are a series of terrible decisions.
Wait, what is on your face?
I did not know why this happened. This is like JP's procrastination. You get halfway with the task and then you just like have to make poor decisions in life. I don't care. So this is my walk. This is the cross I will bear for all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, JP's stash.
The last moustache.
All right, listen.
I'm going to load shed this thing eventually.
We'll be chatting movies with the man right after the break, so stay tuned. But that's impressive, though. It's got like a nice shadow.
Mama see, Mrs. I make the pots to be done. Famous for shisanyama and shisayo. One touch here, one touch there. Fast food and even faster payments. Everybody wins Gwa Mama see. I mean, come on, man.
I am such a champ right now.
This summer, we are not just players. We are all champions. Unlock your profits with a quicker pause and qualify for a cash advance. Further together. Vodacom.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
An intro like that deserves a man with a moustache on his face. It's your feel-good breakfast show. JP Sebastian, he is here. Yes, the moustache is there too. And we're talking all things movies releasing this weekend, and I'm so excited. We've got a list to get through.
Yeah.
And if
you
you
saw
love,
some big names that you were interested in?
Saw some big names, but let's jump straight into the first one, Air. I mean, if you loved Phil Knight's story and his book Shoe Dog, I think
This
you're
is
going to love...
Around the Man, of course.
You're gonna
You just
love
finished
this.
that book, Shoe Dog?
I finished it a while ago, and I loved every minute
And
of it.
every name, I'm sure, was fascinating, like what their history was. This specifically goes into Sonny Vaccaro, is the guy's name. And he was a sales guy who was, I suppose, in a way, underling to Phil Knight. So at the very start, I suppose, of Nike as a more established kind of brand, he's the person who put Jordan in the Airs, hence the name of the movie. Now, we don't have a date for this in SA just yet. Strangely enough, in America, it will get a date in April, May, I think it is. So we can expect it about then. There's no way they're going to stagger a release of about a movie this big. And these are all big movies I'm talking about this morning, because obviously Super Bowl was last weekend.
That took the limelight,
And
Rihanna and her baby bump.
every movie wants a piece of the limelight pie. And so you've got a movie directed by Ben Affleck, who previously has done great directorial work. The Town is incredible. Do yourself a favor, watch The Town. So his crime movies are great as well. And this one, Air was actually on what they refer to as the blacklist for scripts. The blacklist is like the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. And in 2021, for insiders, not even us as like, you know, viewers, within the industry, Air was rated as best script of 2021, so most promising. And then Ben Affleck, Matt Damon took it over. His first time directing his longtime buddy and co-worker.
Okay.
Last we saw them in was The Last Duel, which is also good. You should give it it's a hard watch, but it's worth a watch. And here they elevate the story and bring it to life. Viola Davis, of course, Jason Bateman, mostly then a biopic more than just the story of the corporation. It's weird seeing these movies about corporations. I suppose they're interesting, and yeah, like you said, if you actually dig into the blood and guts of the thing, it can be very interesting. Previously, Matt Damon did Ford versus Ferrari, so this is a strange sort of streak he's on. But it's cool seeing these two guys do a movie together, because they just started a production company back in November called Artists Equity, where their idea as these two creators, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, is to actually share profit with creators in a more equitable way. And hopefully this movie is the first test of the proof in the pudding of their production company. Like I said, no date in SA, but I'm sure we'll see it next month.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's move over to the next movie that's also got big names in it. I'm talking about Owen Wilson.
Where's he been?
Watkins.
After so long. What was the last thing he was in? I mean, there was Zoolander 2, of course, where he was obviously Hansel. How can I forget his name? Hansel. So hot right now, Hansel. And still no date for this one just yet in SA, but I hope that people recognize the character that he's supposed to be portraying in Paint. Named here Carl Nagel. Very much similarly to the person he's proxying, which is Bob Ross. Have you heard of the painter Bob Ross? So
unfortunately,
do yourself
not.
a favor. The guy is so sort of therapeutic to watch in real life, Bob Ross, that the BBC, even Twitch, streamed his TV show during lockdown because it was so calming. So he plays this character in the 80s who is got this angelic, poofy perm on his head. Apparently a ladies' man. I didn't know that was a thing.
Got the look and everything.
If that's your cup of tea, then go wild. So then, yeah, Owen Wilson plays this completely sweetie pie who is, for all sorts of people, cathartic, from people sitting in pubs to people in old age homes. But an up-and-comer, as things go in this industry, takes his limelight, takes his spot, and he has to tango with being a dude who's seen as an angel and the therapy for everyone else in America, needing therapy of his own to feel time moving on without him, and his role being replaced as this darling of the United States. Similar in real life to Mr. Rogers that Tom Hanks played recently, that kind of thing. Sesame Street sort of vibe. But in real life, Bob Ross, because he was such a sweet human being, actually, after his death, as a legal commitment, said, all interviews with me have to be destroyed. Nothing of me has to be merchandised, and this is why I don't think they could do the biopic. But fortunately, it looks like it has a lot of heart to it, and it's not just one of these things where it's like, what if we did Bob Ross, but Wolf of Wall Street? Nah, it looks sweet, and I look forward to it. No date in SA just yet, but hopefully, do yourselves a favor, YouTube Bob Ross.
Definitely. And then let's look at the last movie trailer that you're bringing to our forefront. This one is called Strays, and it's releasing the 7th of July.
It has a hard R, a big R on the poster, which is to say adult viewing. So you've got Will Ferrell there, naturally, looking very much like Baxter from Anchorman. I don't remember his dog.
Yes.
Not, in fact, Baxter in this, weirdly enough. Wolf Forte, who is his terrible owner, the dog says that we play this game called Fetch and F off. And he's so gleeful about this. He's like, my owner loves this game, and every time he brings the ball back, Wolf Forte is like, yeah, that big F-bomb that I nearly just used. He then eventually finally gets lost by Will Ferrell in the big city where he finds dogs who do drugs, dogs who drink beer, prostitute dogs, naturally. And Will Ferrell's this small dog in a big city where Jamie Foxx is a French bulldog like we've never known before. I hope no one out there can lip read dogs because there's a lot of swearing in this, but actually one I look forward to despite, you know, like trying to be edgy and hardcore. Looks like it's going to be hilarious. SA is July 7th.
July 7th. Well, there we go. Some of those new movie trailers that's released. JP Sebastian, he's not going anywhere. That moustache is staying on your screen. Stay tuned.
All right, well, it's time for us to gain some inspiration now in the kitchen. Now, did you know this, that the way that your food is plated changes the perception of how that food tastes? The art of placing food in all the right places, visually, making it visually appealing is a fun way to express artistic skills. And of course, using the plate as a canvas, if you will. Chef Tyrone is going to be putting us through a real test with a Super M plating challenge. You want to try this out at home for some fun with the family. I'm very excited about this. I've been thinking, Ryle, I hope you've been thinking about your inspiration.
It's against you, it's intimidating actually. Oh, yeah? Okay. Please, give me some tips, man. Help me out here.
I made a couple of simple ganaches here with the different flavors Super M's. I'm just going to run through a couple of simple things for you guys here. So with your dots, very slow pipe. Pick it up and move it.
Okay.
Pick it up and move it, right?
That's how you do it.
Very simple.
Yeah.
With the dots, if you wanted to do little hearts, you would just drag your little toothpick through and they should...
Oh! Okay, that's like a drop thing, like a...
Yeah, exactly.
Drip, drip.
And you can also go on your spirals, depending on how you guys...
Okay, okay.
This is normally easier on a turntable.
I see you've got your hand, the other hand supporting the main hand.
You need a bit of a support, yeah.
It's like a vinyl. It's like a...
Yeah, the finesse in it all.
And then if we were looking at doing like swipes or drags, you would just run that through and
Ooh,
move it across.
ooh, I like that.
And another little fun one that we can play with the other colors. Drop that one down.
Yeah.
And you go straight down the middle.
Wow.
Oh, the young fade.
Okay, so cool. little rainbow vibes.
The rainbows, yeah.
So you can play around with it.
Yeah, then as it sprays out. And then if you wanted to be really, you could just also hit it with one of those. Spread it out over the plate if you're looking for something a little bit more fun. So I've got a couple of different colors here for you guys to play with. I don't know if you want any more demos, but I think...
No, I think that's good. I think that's good.
You guys should be able to go for it. There's a little plate there for you to practice on first, maybe, and then you guys...
I don't think we need practice.
Oh, go for it.
We're going to just go right into it. So this is our canvas
that is
you're going to be using.
That is
what are we being judged on here exactly? Just creativity?
I think creativity, general placement,
and finesse, of course.
I was about to say finesse.
Finesse.
Got to have finesse.
Wow. Okay, how long do we have? I think you're going to give us like a minute?
About a minute would be good.
Okay, cool.
A minute to...
Can we put a minute on the clock? Here we go. Ryle de Mornay, you ready?
I'm scared, I'm nervous, but let's do it, man.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Let's start off. Pick a flavor, any flavor.
All right. Think.
Are we starting with our favorite flavors or are we starting with our favorite colors?
I'm a color kind of guy, so I'm always going for good colors, wild colors, wherever I can.
There you go.
I don't know what Cat's up to, but I'm still trying to think what I'm going to do here.
I think we
got it. Okay.
It's very quiet for this competitive kind of... Are you nervous, Ryle? I feel like Ryle is nervous for the first time in a while.
I thought there'd be a lot more trash talk.
There's no longer...
I'm trying to figure out my what am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, the blobs is... Okay, cool. There, I think that's kind of...
That's impressive.
Okay, cool. Oh, my days. How can we be on 20 seconds left? Oh, no, this is the same color. It's the same color. Oh, no, you can't be serious.
9, 8, 7,
Unbelievable.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, man!
Can't finish strong.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to ask you to run me through the plates here.
It's not landing where I wanted to land. Okay, so what I was kind of going for, since this is a Super M inspired, you know, kind of calligraphy slash, you know. I was going for it's a. I don't know if you can actually get this on the camera. It's a 3DM, but it's not just any 3DM. It's dimension. I like that you say dimension because we are in the television dimension, in the multiverse, which is why you get these streaks. It's like the Super M is going.
Like Quantumania.
It's like. So if you imagine like the Super M coming at you like real fast, it's going so fast that I'm even losing my packs. I'm going at the ultimate speed of light.
So your plate needs a lot of imagination right now.
No, I'm just saying.
There's a lot going on.
I actually gave it a name. I call this Sakukuga Sati.
What does that mean?
Sakukuga Sati. Because it's Super M, so it's a.
I see you.
I feel like I oversold that.
Shit, that was a reach, right?
Come
on, let's
he was selling it hard. He was selling it hard.
I try to be artsy with mine. Let me just show the camera here. So
that's nice.
I started off with like, it was supposed to be cat, right? And I got him with like some nice spiky hair there.
As
those are supposed
cat
to be
me.
You. This is my own cat. You are my.
Wow.
Those are his eyes. That's his ear. His neck. And then, like, he kind of fused, and I put him in a tortoise shell.
What on earth?
With like little arm thingamajigs. So, yeah.
It's like a failed
I don't know, guys.
character.
I don't know what you guys think, but you know, 3D.
I don't know if I'm supposed to judge us or the viewers are, but I'm.
I think the viewers can. Let's go. I know you're going to be quite harsh on us.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings when I come back.
Let's just hold them here for everyone to see at home. I don't know.
Come on.
You know? Do you have a name for yours?
It's the catus. It's like a tortoise and a cat combined.
Right. This is Sakukuga Sati.
Emphasis on the
All up Zanzi. It's going to be a hot day in the big city. Super M. Anytime gap filler. Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. We are talking with movies with JP Sebastian, and we are on to part 2 of movie trailers that have just released, and we are moving on to the big guns, if I can call it that.
Yes, thank you. As I was doing my quarterback throw, is it the quarterback who throws? I don't know what
Yes,
American
it is the quarterback.
Yes, I have man points, apparently.
Touchdown.
Since the Stash has knocked me down a couple of pegs.
It's okay. We are now focusing on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Asseblief. So again, around that Super Bowl, not whole, festivity, there were a lot of trailer releases this weekend, and some of them had to pay that $7 million for those 30 seconds worth of advertising. This one, however, was released just slightly prior, so you get to see a lot more of where the story's going. The previous one was just mostly eye candy. Previous trailer. Second one really tells you more that we're following the story of Rocket a lot more closely. And he, for me, is like the heart and soul, I think, of Guardians, because he's still, dealing with a lot of unfinished business of his own. Obviously, Peter Quill has now found love, who magically is back in this. I don't know the physics of that, how Gamora, Green Lady, is back. Because she passed away before the snap of Thanos in phase 4, I suppose it was. But hey, there's a little otter and a cute doggy. I'm sure that they're not going to be as cute and sweet as we think, since Rocket's got a mouth on him. But yeah, like one of the most humane characters. I'm glad that they're going to be exploring what went wrong, I suppose, or right with Rocket, and how does he find his family eventually. Glad that he did. Glad to see Dave Bautista as always, that dude who I've been whining about lately, because he's talking about ending his acting career, which is nonsense, because he's one of the funniest. He's one of the best actors we got for what he is.
Why do they do that?
But like, it's not even like out of self-pity. He's just like, well, eventually my body's going to age. I can't do action anymore. Whatever. This might definitely be the last Guardians, I think, since James Gunn is directing this. He moved into the DC studios, where that seems to be falling all sorts of pieces apart, and we'll find out more by the next movie. But however, this does have a date in South Africa, fortunately. I think that's the 5th of May.
The 5th of May, so that's going to be quite exciting. Before you know it, May's going to be here. We're already halfway through Feb, March, April, boom, May's here.
I felt myself age in that one sentence. So yeah, there's actually Guardians, one that's got a big heart for me and one that I look forward to. However, JP is mostly a grouch when it comes to superhero movies, and I think Flash is going to make me grouchy, possibly.
Oh, well, we are actually
knows?
looking at The Flash right now.
Sorry, The Flash, not Flash. Ezra Miller. What can be said about Ezra Miller?
Say nice things. Try and find it deep down in your, wherever you find it, and then
tell you what, let's just talk about the movie. So, introduces other gigantic names. You will already see Michael Shannon is back as Zod. Michael Keaton is back as Batman. I don't know how I feel about these things. Ben Affleck is not selling Nikes in this one. But I think definitely, man, what is happening to the studio?
He's been busy, Ben Affleck.
They got rid of your boy, Henry Cavill. I'm sure that you're heartbroken about that. Why is he not Superman anymore? They got Flash that they're holding out hope for. They got Michael Keaton as this big sort of appearance. Remember he played Batman when we were kids? Before we just aged in this space of a sentence that took me all the way to May. But yeah, story being very much similar to, there was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where for whatever reason, Spider-Man, a kid, is allowed to go back in time and is warned, you know, this will screw up the time-space continuum. And in this as well, Batman tells the Flash, you know, this will screw with the space-time continuum. Allows a teenager to go back and change time irrespective. There are very few action scenes in this trailer, at least, with the Flash, so there's not a lot of how we know he jumps straight into action. We'll find out more as more trailers are revealed. But obviously, Batman gets to business, and whoever this person is, I'm sorry, I'm not nerd enough to know who that character is.
Times like this, I try not to watch too many trailers, because I feel like they give you all the best snippets, and then by the time you go watch the movie, you're slightly disappointed.
This one's the juice more than the story, so by the second trailer, you might get the trailer that you're more used to seeing, the one that doesn't spoil so much, who knows, whatever. But what's the date on that for us,
the
Zoe, in
release
South Africa?
for The Flash is June 16th, Youth Day.
Okay, yes,
There we
indeed.
go. Well, this year's flying by. But let's move over to our last one, Fast X.
Flying by.
Releasing day is the 19th of May.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure that this is also a national holiday in South Africa, because Fast and Furious is an institution here. We love it to death. And I've also got a soft spot in my heart for it, too. I I feel like, you know what, if James Bond can have, like, how many is it, 40 movies now? That's
Yeah.
probably a lot more. Then why isn't there another series that can do that? I'm not sure that I want to see
But I
Fast.
mean, Fast and the Furious have had Vin Diesel in all of them.
And
most of them,
surprisingly,
most
The
of
Rock
them.
doesn't even return to this one. And this one is all about the family breaking apart. I can't go into the politics about why Dwayne Johnson isn't here. But, of course, like you said, Vin Diesel is an absolutely... Except, of course, for Tokyo Drift.
Yes, that's the only one he wasn't in.
You pointed at me very academically there. You were like, yes, test your facts. Brie Larson is in this for reasons. And the entire Han, all your regulars are in this too. Hope that it's going to be action-packed. There's some people, obviously, I think the camp is sort of split. More people are like, where's the car action, guys? Like, when was it? It used to be about drifting. It used to be about the skill of racing and whatever. And then, obviously, there are people who like to see cars jump out of planes. Look, if those stunts pass off well enough, and Vin Diesel's got a big enough heart and love for the series, he's not just dialing it in, he's not just picking up a check. I suppose I have respect for the love that they put into it. As goofy as it might be, but like you said, later this year, South Africans can expect the 10th one.
The 10th Fast and the Furious,
Crazy.
also known as Fast X. There we go. Well, JP Sebastian, thank you so much.
Oh man, nearly nerded out so bad.
I blame it on the stash. That's all it is, okay? Just blame it on the stash. Anyway, right now we're back with our performer, actress, singer, and songwriter Natasha who's embarked on an exciting journey now into the world of music, and it must be really exciting. Have you thought about like a wish list of artists or producers that you might want to work with?
Yeah, I suppose, listen, we have got the most incredible talent in this country.
Absolutely.
So I am not short of options. But I would say, I think the first two people that actually come to mind for me is I would love to rock out on a stage with Karen Zoid.
Oh, yes.
And also a huge fan of Refense. So really cool artists for me. But
Maybe
again,
both of them on the same stage, the three of you.
You know, and just add a little Taryn Lamb in there while we're at it.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, we did study together, and I really think she's one of our top female vocalists.
Absolutely, and songwriter as well, performer.
Yes,
You know, par excellence. All right, so the next song that you're about to perform for us, what is it?
This is a cover version of Don't Look Back in Anger from Oasis.
Looking forward to hearing it.
Thank
The stage is all yours. Take it away.
Slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you've never been. All the things that you've seen slowly fade away. I'm gonna start a revolution from my bed. 'Cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in blue. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't never gonna burn my heart out. Oh, Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as we're walking on by. Her soul fades away, but don't look back in anger. I heard you say, take me to the place where you go, where nobody knows if it's night or day. Please don't put your life in the hands of a rock and roll band and throw it all away. I'm gonna start a revolution from my bed. 'Cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't never gonna burn my heart out. Yeah. Her soul fades away, but don't look back in anger. I heard you say. You say, at least not today.
Oh, the beautiful sounds of Natasha van der Merwe. Beautiful stuff. Oh, love it. Such a beautiful way to start off the morning. Nice and calm and... So what's next for you?
Yes, what is next? Well, I do have a great gig lined up for June.
Yes.
June the 1st and the 3rd, I will be performing in Namibia, in Windhoek.
Lekker.
Looking forward to that. And then on the Friday, the 2nd of June, I will also be opening up for Bobby van Jaarsveld in Windhoek as well.
That is absolutely amazing. Good luck, and we'll be following in the journey. You do have one more for us for a bit later, don't you?
I do indeed.
Excellent.
Yes.
Stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's that?
This is Octifex, a new accessible platform to trade Forex on global markets.
Cool. What's the Forex?
It's short for foreign exchange, trading currencies.
Buy low, sell high. Score points, right?
Exactly.
What's leverage?
It's like you got cool friends. They vouch for you, and you can trade it big.
Precisely.
So basically, it's an app where you learn and trade, and it's safe, and it looks good.
That about sums it up here. Octifex, trading made clear.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Let those beats bring you into your feel-good breakfast show on this Thursday morning. Hang out with my man Grant Hines. Of course, we're chatting all things games now. For some people out there, Marvel has been a massive part of their lives growing up. We've read the comics, we've watched the cartoons, and even played the games as well. And Grant is here to break down the most critically praised Marvel video games of all time. I didn't know that was a list like that. So there is a ranked list internationally.
I mean, yeah, there's tons of games that Marvel have made, and you'll be quite surprised. I think I was quite surprised going through this while I was doing research of one of the most highest rated Marvel games of all time. So let's hit some of your nostalgia.
So we're gonna go from number 5 to
So stick around for number 1. It's coming. So number 5 is called Marvel Superhero Squad. This came out when I first started working in this industry, and it's on the Nintendo Wii. It's like a Hasbro tie-in. So they had this can you see that little bit formed like toys?
Yes,
the shapes. And as you can see, it's like an action you could play. I think you play up to 4 players in the same environment. And it got 77%. But I remember at the time it was a big deal because it wasn't really what Marvel was doing, but it had a whole bunch of the Marvel characters. You can see Nightcrawler in there. Nightcrawler was one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Was there as well.
Yeah, Wolverine. There's obviously X-Men. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan. So that was on the Nintendo Wii, and I think that's the only game on the Nintendo Wii that Marvel did that got really great acclaim.
So at number 4.
Now at number 4 we moved up to Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, which got 80%. This is a mobile-only game.
Oh, wow.
So you can only play this game on your phone. It is available now. It was released in I think March 2016.
Okay, cool.
So that's old, right?
That is very old.
But it showed off really cool graphics.
Like the likes that we're seeing right now, just screen select. Choose your character, let's go.
Yeah, but here's the thing, actually it was cancelled. But this is why, you'll see why in a little bit on this list. It was cancelled, but it was a very important game for Marvel because it showed them what they could do on mobile.
Okay.
No one was really touching that space the same way that they were.
Okay, then, number 3.
87%, number 3 is Spider-Man. Obviously, the brand new Spider-Man game that came out on, obviously, PS4, but then they remastered it for PS5. Incredible game. This is an open-world, web-slinging adventure. They really made you feel like Spider-Man. I highly recommend playing this game if you've got a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5. And now, actually, they released it on PC. I forgot, actually, recently. Yeah, they came out on PC. So you have the ability to play that. I know there are PC heads here that were really excited because they didn't have a PlayStation that they could participate in.
Okay, lots of action there. At number 2.
Number 2. Now we're getting higher. This is 94%. Is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Did you ever? I don't know if you ever played Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I think I did. I do remember this. I remember having to put in 5 rand into the machine.
5 rand?
Yeah, bro, at the arcade.
Yo, that was when it just came out. I mean, I think it's 2 rand now. Or a rand to have it too. But it was a great...
Yes, bro, with the combos, with the hits.
Yes.
Of course I played this.
It was all about juggling, all about combos with hits. And it was a crossover between Capcom and Marvel. And Capcom obviously had the
With the tag team, bro. Right?
Yes. Yeah, you could tag team. Remember, you could have Ryu swap in.
Yes.
Because obviously Capcom for Spider-Man, whoever.
That was right up there with Killer Instinct for me.
I rated it better than Killer Instinct. But Killer Instinct was great. I mean, you should see the new one, obviously, which is great.
Okay, so now at number one, ladies and gentlemen, the best, highest rated Marvel game of all time.
96% is Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Now, this is kind of like... It's kind of like Diablo in a sense, where it's this isometric fighter. You can also have it with 4 players. It's a lot of fun, a whole bunch of the Marvel characters in the Marvel universe. And if you're a fan, lots of fan service, but also really great core gameplay.
Which is your favorite of the 5?
Oh, I'd marvel this Capcom. Like that was like a nostalgia thing. I had a friend who had it on Sega Mega Drive. He had it like the chip set, like you had to have the extender cartridge.
Yeah.
And like you couldn't get it in the country, and we used to like go over to his house and like hustle a few games.
And nothing beats having Spider-Man and Ryu in the same team. You hook the webs, pull the opponent, and then you swap Ryu with Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Nice one.
Some absolute classics there. I'm definitely getting nostalgia, but this next recipe inspires us to create super desserts for you.
Hola, Mzansi! It's going to be a hot day in the big city. Super M, anytime gap filler.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh yes, bring on summer. Nothing screams summer like eating berries on a summer afternoon. But they are not available all year round, so we can make the most of those strawberries and turn them into a delectable summer dessert. Now we've got private chef Tyron Taplin here. He's back in the Expresso kitchen to show us how to make a Super M strawberry tiramisu. That sounds good. Tyron, how are we doing this, man?
It's a real fun one. So on your side, I want you to start with, we've got some icing sugar, some eggs, and some mascarpone. You can crack those all into the bowl there.
Beautiful, all
right.
right.
A quick whisk, and then you're gonna place it over our double boiler because we want to cook out those eggs to make sure that they're pasteurized and safe. That's also gonna help us set our tiramisu.
All right, so what sort of consistency am I looking for in this? Really just get it all mixed up.
Get it all mixed up, and then you'll see when you start to cook it, the eggs are gonna start to coagulate and congeal, so they'll start to thicken it up slightly.
All right, well, I'm at work on this side. What are you getting up to over there?
I'm busy. So with a traditional tiramisu, you'd be dunking your lady fingers into sort of a coffee and liqueur mix.
Yeah.
But we're playing around with the Super M today, so I thought it'd be quite fun to dunk it in here.
Yeah, and it's like strawberry on strawberry, man. Come on, that's screaming summer.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're layering up our lady fingers. Don't over soak them, otherwise they're gonna really fall apart and give you quite a mushy tiramisu, which is
all right.
really the vibes.
Just on my side, while you are busy with that, I kind of feel like I've whisked this up to a decent consistency. What do you think of that?
Perfect.
All right, so this can go into the boiling water pot,
so you're gonna pop the whole bowl onto the top of the double. There you go. Making what they would call a bain-marie or a double boiler.
A bain-marie.
And then you can keep whisking that on the heat. So
all right, keep that moving. And let me chat to the people right now because we are, of course, using Super M, our beautiful ingredient of the day. And Super M is the quintessential snack solution that can be enjoyed as, let's say, an afternoon school snack, an accompaniment to your morning coffee, or just as a snack on its own. I mean, any time of the day, any day of the week, it doesn't matter. This thing is going to tick so many boxes, especially the beautiful flavors. And let me tell you, when you make something like this and incorporate that strawberry flavor, pow! That's power flavor right there. All right, how are we doing, Tyron? What's happening?
We should be good there.
Beautiful.
All right, cool. So speaking of that strawberry flavor over here, I've got some strawberry jam. I've got some double thick cream, and I've got some gelatin. Gelatine's also going to help us set.
You're just playing with like this like kryptonite ingredients, all the good stuff people can't say no to.
All the good stuff you can't say no.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. And then the cream in last.
Nice, okay.
And then same thing, just a nice whisk. We're going to get this all together.
Whisk that up. And then is this essentially
Super M because we can, I suppose.
Yeah, no one's going to complain about that.
Yeah, there we go. just for...
Keep it coming, keep adding it to the ingredients, keep having a sip of it while you're cooking as well, so you can quench your thirst at the same time. So I think it's just coming in from all angles, and you're never going to need to say no to it. So what exactly is this forming in terms of that tiramisu? Is this something that kind of is like the bulk of it all? The umami, the meat?
Yeah, this is going to be our cream layer.
Right.
So we're going to get this nicely combined here.
Check that like chef technique on the whisk. I need to start learning that, man. Fine form, lad, fine form.
Thank you very much. Cool. So I'm just going to work in a little bit of air here, just keep it light and fluffy. This is something you could do with a hand mixer, would go a lot faster.
Yeah.
Cool. It's probably.
But this is a nice way to burn some coals and earn this beautiful dessert. So we're all about balance, right?
Exactly. Cool. So, and then very lightly, I'm just going to spoon this over, let it settle into the gaps. We're going to tap it down now. You don't have to be too crazy about how fancy you are here. We're just getting a nice layer.
Right, of course, Mzansi, you can get this recipe at expressoshow.com. It is the perfect way to enjoy a strawberry sensation, a summer sensation, and it's also compliments of Super M coming through with that extra strawberry flavor right there. Tiramisu on another level. It looks like Tyron's pretty much done with this one. So simple, so easy, and so quick. It's always intimidating when you are getting, like, let's call it your baking, if anything, but this wasn't that bad. Crushing it, doing the final ingredients.
And a great one to make with the kids and the family, get them involved, nice and fun, and the kids would love the Super M in this. And this is normally a dessert, like tiramisu is a dessert that kids don't really go for because of the chocolate and the coffee and that sort of thing. So this is just a nice way to sort of introduce them to that as well.
Nice.
So we've got our wafers on, and then I'm going to slice up some strawberries just for a final garnish. And then you've got to let this set in the fridge for up to a day would be best. But, you know, 6 hours, you should be fine.
Beautiful stuff. Tan, thank you so much. You've definitely ticked the box when it comes to flavor, sensation, and of course, Mzansi, if you missed any of these steps, shame on you, but don't worry. We got you covered because you got a recap coming at you right now. Check it out.
Made with love by Clover.
Good Breakfast Show, we have Natasha van der Merwe on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Earlier, she debuted her debut single, Hou My Fuss, but here she is with her rendition of Robbie Williams and Lily Allen's Dream a Little Dream. Take it away.
Thank you.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave your worries behind you while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn.
To get to the heart of how you feel, all you need is love and a dish that no one cooks better than you. Made with love by Clover.